Bruchim Abayim, on behalf of the Rubashkin family and the Askonim that put together this beautiful evening, welcome. To the second annual evening of Chizuk and Simcha, celebrating 2 years since the Nes of Zos Chanukah Tafshin Ayin Ches. At a moment like this, when so many Yidden gather, and at a time like we are now in, when Esav Sayin Yaakov once again raises its ugly head, we'll daven and say a kapitel Tillim together. To lead us with that kapitel Tillim, we will ask a member of the Pidyon Shvuim Front, a Yid that from the very beginning of this story threw himself in, belev and nefesh, to do everything he could for another Yid, Harav Lipa Brennan.
2 short years ago, we witnessed our own modern-day Chanuka Nes. And in today's world, in today's society, and the yeshuah to all over the world, we need to have that Nes again. We weren't sure, we didn't believe that the Nes of Chanuka with Sholom Mordechai would happen. We believed it, but it was still so far in our minds. And so we will say a kapitel Tillim today now, that the same Nes will happen to Yidden all over the world, and that the scourge and the cancer of anti-Semitism and the Esav Sayin Yaakov will be turned to joy and sosin v'simcha b'bias Mashiach Tzidkenu. Lam Natseach Mizmor LeDavid. Yan Chadinoi b'yem tzara yisagev choshem Elihei Yaakov. Yishlach ezrecha mikodesh u'mitzion yisadecha. Yizkor kol minchaisecha v'los no yadash nesela. Yiten lecha gilvavecha v'chalatzoscha yemalei. Nerannu v'shuasecha v'shem Eliheinu nigdel yemalei Adonai kol mishaloisecha. Ato yadaiti ki yeshi Adonai Mashiachai yanehu mishmei kodshei b'gvuras yesha yeminai. Eile v'rechev ve'eile basusim v'anachnu b'shem Adonai Eloheinu nazkir. Heima koru v'nafalu v'anachnu kamnu v'nisaydod. Adonai heishia hamelech yaneinu v'yom kareinu.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the beautiful, beautiful shul, the Young Israel Beth El Borough Park. I'm privileged to act as the Rav of the shul. I say act because it's a shtickle act, but it's a pleasure. This is the place which I think it was 10 years ago, the very first rally on behalf of Sholom Mordechai took place. The place was full, just like it will be tonight, Amir Hashem. And there was a lot of chizuk given to the people. And Sholom Mordechai himself told me that when he heard about the rally, it gave him a tremendous amount of chizuk too. There are no commercials tonight at all. But I don't mind telling you that I've been buying at Rubashkin for almost 50 years. All right, if there's only two things that I really want to say that I feel are crucial about tonight. Number one, the fact that we're here tonight is indicative of the fact we never give up. That's number one. And number two is, I don't know how many remember, I'm sure you do, but when the news was out that Sholom Mordechai was out, there was this outpouring of all members of all segments of Klal Yisroel to come together. And from that we can see that it's possible for one person to unite Klal Yisroel. It's possible. And Klal Yisroel can come together. And we hope and pray. We daven with all our koiches. And we try to improve ourselves with the hope that the day is going to come soon, that unity is going to be seen with the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mheira yameinu. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Snow. Thank you to the Beth El Young Israel community for so graciously giving us their shul, not once, not twice, not 3 times. For the last 10 years, they've given us the shul many times in tefillah and Baruch Hashem today in celebration. Vayamim ha'ela niskarim v'nasim. By remembering the days of old, we can relive them again. And so I'd like to make a challenge to each and every one of you tonight. Take a moment and do the niskarim. Where were you 2 years ago at this moment? How are you feeling? What were you doing? I was in a car on the way back from the Otisville gas station where I've witnessed a sight that plays in my mind nearly every day. For the first time, I met my father-in-law as a free man in civilian clothes. After seeing Moshe for about an hour and a half on the way to Otisville, waiting to see his father outside of prison, that it was real, I watched them hug and kiss for the first time, like a normal father and son. Those strong feelings were not just mine. When we arrived in Muncie, and then in Borough Park, and then in Crown Heights, those feelings, those images are there in all our minds. And tonight we gather because we don't want to leave that alone. We want to keep that image in our mind. We want to relive those moments. We want to once again feel that outpouring of love that we had for a fellow Jew, that feeling of achdus, that we're one family, one nation. I'll dance with another Yid I never met and I never saw, and we're dancing together as if we knew each other our whole life. We want it once again to be clear to us, like it was then, that if we only cry out to Hashem, If we only talk to him, if we only ask him and daven a little bit, he'll answer us. It doesn't matter what situation we're in, what the challenges are. We want to feel that strong, burning neshama that we felt that night. That feeling that we're one with Hashem, we're one with fellow Yidden, that we're Yidden. We have a neshama. We're not limited by the laws of nature. We're not limited by the rules of this world. And if we only believe in Hashem, and we only trust in Hashem, and we only daven to Hashem, if we live with our neshama, we're Yidden and nothing's in our way. We stand higher than everything. Tonight, we want to fan the flame of our neshama again. It says in Svarim that Zos Chanukah is the Siyum and Chosim, is the last Kfittel of Tishrei. So tonight is a night that we'll have a little bit of Rosh Hashanah, a little bit of Yom Kippur, a little bit of Sukkot, and a little bit of Simchas Torah. We davened. We're going to hear some Divrei Yisraelus. We're going to talk. We're going to sing. We're going to daven again. We'll sing a little bit more. We'll hear some more words of Yisraelus. It's not just going to be an evening of speeches and then music, but it'll be an evening of a little bit of song, a little bit of words of Yisraelus, a few more words of song, a little bit of dancing, a few more words of Yisraelus. So don't run away when the first speech finishes. Let me just sum it up. Tonight is not a concert, and it's not an event of drushes. Tonight, we're not just going to listen. We're going to listen and talk to ourselves. We're going to internalize what we're hearing. We're not going to watch the amazing performance that we're going to have. It's not a performance. They're just here to lead us in our own singing. We're going to join along. So let's ask Reb Benny and Reb Yossi, Reb Avremi, Reb Shraga, and the whole crew of Shira. Lead us in the way. We're joining you. Let's do it. Please find your seats.
I'm not on the program. I don't have a speech. But I just want to say one thing. We came here to sit and listen, or we came here to flacker. We came to flacker. We're neshamas, and it's sometimes, life looks dark, it looks cold, and we need to remember who we are and be who we are. We're neshamas, right? So when you have a niggin going on, I don't want to judge anybody. Some people dance sitting still. I don't judge anybody. But if you're not jumping because you're ashamed or you're embarrassed or you're self-conscious, you didn't get there yet. And you have to know where we're trying to go. Listen to what's being said. Listen to the music. Listen and remember why we're here, how we got here. And if you're a neshama, flock it. Nothing to be ashamed of. Flock it. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Get Yomtov. Der Yomtov von Alef, Bais, Gimmel. Ich weiß nicht, ich bin gekommen, ich will machen alle Chaim auf ein Gläsel Maschke. Du liegt nur Springwasser. Da meine ich mich, wenn ich pflege ein Basichen, Reb Sholom Mordechai in der Platz, wo es heißt Wiese, hat man auch gemacht alle Chaim auf Poland Springs. So und zum upgraded zu meinem Chaim mit der Hechsche. L'chaim, l'chaim. Da mach
jene Donnerstag Parshas Vayatzai, Tufshi in Ayin Ches, wenn die E-Mail ist umgekommen, der weekly, der wöchentliche E-Mail, jede einzige Mittwoch, 4 Uhr nach Sie, mit den riesigen, langen Wörtern von der ABC. Und ich sitze und ich type über die E-Mail, der Chizuk, und so umgekommen von einer finsteren Platz, auszuteilen von meiner Klasse und von dort sie ganz Klal Yisroel. Sie haben ich 3 Fatux, wenn ich geendigt auftypen die E-Mail, sie gestanden derselbe Werte jede Woche hier rutzen, der Rebischte soll schicken, die geulah Proti, zusammen mit der geulah Kloli, jetzt mit Mashiach Tzidkeni, Podo b'Sholom Nafshi, Psures Teuves, Dida Notzach, Sholom Mordechai Levi ben Rivke, Woch noch Woch. Ich weiß nicht, was jene Donnerstag war jetzt, ich habe mich gesetzt auf der Couch, ich habe mich zerweint. Und mein Jiden ist herangekommen von der Chassana, und sie sieht, wie ich sitze auf der Couch und ich weine. Und sie fragt mich, was ist geschehen? Aber ich sage, der Jid sitzt Woch noch Woch in einem finsteren Platz. Es ist nicht massig zusammen, was für die Visitors, wie schrecklich sie gewesen. Kolschken für die Prisoners. Und ich denke, der Nightmares, was ich gehabt, wenn ich vielleicht heimkomme von dort, und du Woch noch Woch schreibt er, Chizuk, noch Chizuk, noch Chizuk. Ich habe ein Feeling, ich denke noch die Werte. Ich habe ein Feeling, gleibt da so stark, als geht da rauskommen. Doesn't make sense. Aber gleibt. Ich habe ein Feeling, dass der Reibischte geht ihm nicht disappointen. Rabbi sagt, 2 Wochen später, der Reibischte hat ihm nicht disappointed. Du! Jetzt wird 2 Uhr, wenn die Gassen vom Bauernpark sind gewesen, verspart und tausende Menschen haben getanzt und gespringen, ist raus. Und ich will euch sagen, sie geht nicht durch kein Tag, was ich kriege ich kein Telefon von der ganzen Welt. Menschen meinen, als ich bin Reb Sholom Mordechai Bodyguard und wir will umkommen. Und Menschen fragen, wie kann ich ihm, nur für 1 Minute, ich will ihm schleppen, zieh Spetul, zieh Aschive, soll reden mit der Jusam, soll reden mit einem Mensch, was darf durch eine schwere Treatment. Es ist ein Source von Chizuk, von Sof, Oilam, was Soifoi, und von dem sind wir jetzt durch Nacht, sich mitfreien mit dem Nest, was der Eibestadt uns gemacht, für ganz Klal Yisroel, es hat mitgelebt, der Zar, und freit sich mit der Simcha. Ich will denken, die Woche in der Parsha steht 3 Werte, was hat aufgestürmt die ganze Welt. Ani Yosef Achichem. Es ging ein Palaz von Paroi, sie gestanden 10 Schwute mit ausgestreckten Schwerden. Der Keule ist gegangen an Leva Shomayim, der Teube Chische, mit gekommen von Land Kanaan. Naftuli gelaufen, zeilende Gassen. Paroi ist herumgefallen von Benkel, die mit Druschen verzeilen. Sie ist gedauert, Hure, wenn man geht, Hure machen mit Zerayim. Und plötzlich hat Yosef gegeben, ein Schrei, Ani Yosef, und alles hat sich geendigt. Wo ist der Kohl von Ani Yosef? Wo ist der Kohl, wo schreit Adayom Azeh? Yosef hat Zadik, hat gesagt von den Brüdern. Kijkt mich an. Ich bin geworden ein Jusam als Kleinkind von meiner Mama. Ich habe nicht gehabt, keine Mama von als Kind. Bei der 17 hat man mich herangeworfen in ein Grieb. Ich habe mich getroffen, liegen in ein finsterer Grieb mit Schlängen nach Krabben. Eine halbe Stunde später hat man mich verkauft für einen Knecht, für einen Schiech. Ich habe Makkes Rätsig von den Ischmaelem. Ich bin umgekommen, ich bin ein Knecht bei der Poetifar. Ich bin durch die schwersten, es Joines, Berachnies, Begashmies. Ich habe gedacht, schreien, weil ich muss. Ich bin gesessen in Twiese 12 Uhr. In der finstere Twiese von Mitzrayim. Aber ich habe nicht aufgegeben. Ani Yosef! Ich Ich habe nicht aufgegeben für Karege. Ich habe gewusst, dass meine Brüder so mich verkauft. Sie gehen nicht sich noch mich. They don't care about me. Sie gehen nicht wissen. Sie haben gesagt, von meiner Tate, Tour auf Teure wie Josef. Sie haben zerrissen, die Kleine Spaß. Sie haben es angetinkt im Blit von der Ziegele. Sie haben gesagt, von der Tate, ich exist schon nicht. Mit dem allem, Tag noch Tag, habe ich alles geglaubt, dass es kommen hat Tag. An nie Josef, ich habe noch solche Sachen herausgekommen, ich habe noch solche Sachen, die an jede Klappe, was ich bin dadurch, habe ich geglaubt, dass es noch kommen hat Tag, es sein lächtig. Und jetzt, sagt Josef, jetzt stehe ich vor ihn, an nie Josef, ich bin der Mischne, der Melech in Mitzrayim, beludai lo Jurem ist es Judi. Der Eibisch hat mich verlassen. Ich will jetzt aufrufen, der Ani Josef von Amerika. Rabbi sei, du gehst sich aufstellen, Aid. Wo hat dadurch jede Schwierigkeit in der Justice von Amerika. Es ist umgekommen bis zum White House in der Zeiten von der Präsident Obama und hat mich gewollt herauslassen. Es ist gewesen, the Supreme Court hat es denied. Jede Moment an Appeal, es ist umgekommen an andere. Fahr, man hat ihm gedacht, rauslassen von Twies. Fahr, Zos Chanukah, Tufshinai, Ches, hat aber kommen eine geile Envelope von Court, was hat ihm denied, dem letzten Hoffnung. Und ein Tag später ist gestanden in den Gassen und geschrien, Ani Yosef! Und hat ihm, bei Merkeves am Mischne, hat man geschrien, Avreich! Und das ist ein Chizuk für Klal Yisroel, für jeder eine von uns, wo es geht durch schwere Zeiten. Jeder eine mit seinem Päckl, jeder eine mit seinem Agmes Nefesh, jeder mit seinen Säuen. Kickt zu dem Eid, kickt zu dem Ani Yosef und gedenkt, es ist eibig du an Lechtigkeit bei der End von der Tunnel. Reb Sholom Mordechai, Ani Yosef, Kim.
L'chaim. Apollos ging wachten. L'chaim mitten, l'chaim. Baruch Hashem, shachiyonu v'kimonu v'gyonos manazeh. Und wach abrach echet, ha-Gimmel l'chem tev, shegemal l'kol tev. L'chaim mitten, l'chaim. Okay, gut, Baruch Hashem. Erstens, mit Uzi-Klippen, mein teure Bruder, der Blebisch, hat gerade auf Jiddisch. Das ist ähnlich meine Mama loschen. Aber fragen nach Sachen Menschen, was verstehen nicht Jiddisch. Und fragen Menschen, was kicken durch die technology. And they don't understand Yiddish either. So I'm going to switch to English. If you're beginner's kwijtgem. And first of all, we're standing over here in a place, Baruch Hashem, I remember not too long ago, maybe 10 years ago, I was never facing whatever they wanted to talk about. And I found out that the Noshim Zitkonius are making a knisa, and they're coming together to daven for me and to repair yeshuahs. And for me, this was a tremendous chizuk. And there was mamish right over here, Rabbi Snow and Rabbi Lippe Brenner, and we have to acknowledge it. And right now also the Noshim Zitkonius are listening. We're all listening together. Is that Hashem can take what we can do with tefillas. When we daven the Eibishter listens and the Eibishter answers, and his answer is always a yeshuah kommt. Together with that is interessant to listen, just to start off the event. This is not going to be just a speech. It's going to be like a verbringen. We'll speak a little bit, we'll dance a lot, we'll speak a little bit more, we'll dance even more. As it look in the ganze Nacht. We all came together in the Seder. And so to start off, that the Shalom Kodesh says that in the Megillah it says, Hayom Ma'il Niskorim V'Nasim. They remembered and they are made. Was Taich das eben gewaltig. Niskorim, when you remember the Nes, Hayom Ma'il from Purim. Yeah, but the same thing works for Chanuka, it works for Pesach, it works for Shavuos, it works for Sukkot. Yeah, Nes Proti. Hayom Ma'il Niskorim V'Nasim, when you remember the Nes that Abish did for you, V'Nasim, then you pray that the same Hashpors happened again. Tonight we're standing in the night, the Abish made a big yeshuah, and Takam Yochid, But I think it was Emes at Tfilas Rabbim that made the yeshuah happen. So Mele say yeshuah Rabbim. Everybody saw the way Yid could be helped, even in the worst possible matzav of mitamol, he's saved. And this we all danced. We mailed in this kind of nasim. And last year we commemorated. I hate these English words. I gotta tell you, really. Wir zusammengekommen und wir verbracht letzten Jahr in einer Saal mit allen getanzt mit Skol von Nasim. The very next morning, I got a call from my Edim, Rebecca Weiss, and my daughter, his wife, was waiting for a baby. He tells me, Mazel Tov. A baby, ever? I English am Edel. No. What happened? What happened was they're working, as I said, they're working on a bill to help Eden get out, to help everybody get out of prison faster. It's called the bill of, whatever it's called, prison reform bill. And first thing act, and it takes off so much percent that today there are 15, 20, maybe even more Yidden today are home with the family because of this. And Mama will say, when did it start? Gimmel, Tevis, Tavshin, Ayin Tes, the day after we celebrated the nest of this Chanuka. So we see, it's not gerät. We learned Sachen in Torah. We all went to yeshiva. Let's speak straight. We all went to yeshiva. There's nothing here that I'm going to tell you that you don't know already. But the Eibishter gave me seichel. One thing you have to do is take what you learned in yeshiva and say it's for real. Nicht dass es nicht Theorie. It's not etwas b'shamayim he. It's for real. This kind of a nasim last year, this kind of a nasim, he tells me like this. He calls me up. I remember coming out of shul. I was then coming out from Shiner. I was having this year in Shiner shul because we verbrinkeln maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. So I got up a little bit later. Come out. He calls me up. He tells me, he got a call. He's working with a lobbyist. And the lobbyist just finished telling him that it's almost the New Year's, and therefore the bill has no chance of passing this year. An hour later, the head senator from the Senate comes on the Senate floor, and he says they're going to pass the bill before New Year. They're going to see New Year. So we see, but what happened between the alle Grace Kluge Cap, how machlich gewesen, there's 10% chance, 50% chance, percentages. A Yid doesn't know he's hiding in Teva, and this is what we're going to bring with tonight. We are hiding in Teva, and the next moment started, the Gimmel Tevis, Tovshin test started, but before the Goyish New Year, a few weeks later, the President of the United States signed a law that Eden can go home a lot earlier. So here's what happened. The next of Tovshin Ayin Ches was like this. I was sitting in a place called prison in Otisville, and over there, I have to recount, maybe many of you heard the story once, but I was sitting in a very small room. How we're going to measure it, 6 feet wide and 8 feet long, about approximately. And I'm davening, in the middle of davening, in the Ketev Min HaMeitzar. By the way, this room is a very interesting room, but if you want to understand the hashpola, they lock you in the room with somebody else. I'm come out a half a day with somebody else, and typically such a place is not a Jewish man. For almost a half a day, they lock you into this room. So there's a bathroom in there, because a person has to go to the bathroom. Party had nilus, but there's no nilus over there. So there's a table and there's a bathroom. How do you get over this? So everything, alles was mir gesehen, alles gewesen mit der Simcha. I always remind you of the Gemara says in Gemara Brachas, it says that an osher is somebody who has a besakis is somebody shulchan. What do you think about it? So every time I looked at besakis, I was afraid I'm a real osher because the besakis is mamish nicht nur somebody shulchan, it's all shulchan. Oh, but you should know, this is the way you pick yourself up for all the matzavim, give a look, als the prayer of God. I had the God give me a call. He called me and he tells me, you have to come to him. He hands me that, but he said he hands me an envelope, and the envelope was from a appeals court. I was davening. I was hoping to get one win. After 8.5 years. Epis, gewinnen, epis, gar nicht. If I open the letter in big letters, a blind man should be able to see it. It says the word denied. Denied. Denied meant, in English, it meant, this one word meant they're telling me this is not mikveh nice, this is the nicest court, the highest court of the country, tells me you're staying in jail for another 18 and a half years. That's the piece of news they gave me. Alef Tevis yesterday. Alef Tevis. They tell me that you're staying in jail 18 years. So I saw how Goyim take to this piece of news. I saw how Goyim take the piece of news. They get depressed, they go to a psychiatrist, the psychiatrist gives them drugs, at the end of the day gives them a pill, and aber we Yidden, and I knew the gelebt mit ein Wort, Alef, Bais, emunah, bitachon, I eat the yesaydas of everything is that we are created, alles was tut sich mit uns von Himmel, von Eibishten. There's nothing that happens to us, and we stop a second and think, why this is happening is not because of him, and not because of her, and not because of that. It's because the Eibush is putting the situation, and emunah means if you're going through a shtickle darkness, it's eiche from the Eibush. This is Chanuka. The whole thing from Chanuka is Chanuka. Chanuka is made to light up the darkness. A challenge in life and something in life is darkness, and it gives me such a piece of paper. So I always talk about the pasuk Hashem Yehovah. If you have a problem, you throw in the Eibush the problem, and he will make the keli also. But there's another story. There's another story from the Heilige Yerushalayim, and he says there's a kapitel in Tehillim, and kapitel Yud Gimmel, and I don't know if they have it on the screens over here. I prepared it, but if it's not on the screen, it's not important. It says like this: Lam natzech mizmul David Adonai Hashem tashricheni netzach. Adonai tastes many Adonai oshes benafshi. There's 3 times the word Adonai. Adonai in English means until when. In Yiddish it means biswanend. Yeah. So the ganze Welt teaches that there's 3 questions. Ayid asks, David asks Eibush, till when? Till when will you forget me? Till when will you hide from me? Till when will I look for answers to help myself? That's how people teach it. If you look, I'm sure if you buy an art scroll to Tehillim, that's what you're going to find. The Heilige Yerushalayim teaches like this. The first 2 Adonos is a question. How long a person going through a tzara and he asks the Eibush till when can you, wie lang kannst du mich vergessen? Wie lang kannst du hast upon him? How long could it be has upon him? The third Adonah, the third until when is not a question, it's an answer. Adonah, until when, Oshes Eitzes Benafshi, until when you are going to think you have an Eitzah, the Gebi has upon him. Think this for a second. Take a second, if I bring a little bit. The Torah is telling us when can the Gebi has upon him, Chas v'Sholom, as long as you think you have an Eitzah, the Gebi has upon him, David can hide from you. But when you're in a matziv, says the Heilige Yerushalayim, when you're in a matziv that you have no eitzes, there cannot be a hest upon him. Nukuda. There can't be a hest upon him. And there's a story from the Alexander Rebbe, and the Alexander Rebbe swore that his father will be healthy based on this Torah, and as a kachava, he became healthy. What did he base it on? Because in Torah it says, Adonai oshes eitzes v'nafshi, because man host eitzes by zich. As long as you think you have an eitzah, how to get out of your problem, there can be hest upon them. Maybe she can hide from you. It can be a problem. But when you don't have an eitzah fakert, the Torah tells you there can't be hest upon them. The yeshuah is coming. So I look at this paper, and they're telling me it's over. There's nothing to do about it. You can't call the police because the police brought you to jail, right? You can't call the lawyer because the legal process is over. What can you do? Sit back and suffer. That's a goy. Ayid veis, hadishkan eitzes b'nafshei is fakert. Ad ono osh eitzes b'nafshei. If hadishkan eitzes, damils can hest upon can design. Now, this is a story that is brought in the Reb Zevin stories. It's translated into English. Any one of us can buy it and read it. And you read the story by the Shabbos table, and you say, how beautiful, and you put it away and weiter gefahren. But if you stop a second, take this for real. This is for real. The Eibush is telling you when you're in a matzav that you don't know what to do. The reason why you don't know what to do is because the Eibush wants you to be revealed by you a koyach, a bitachon that you never had before. He wants you to reveal by you a mesiras nefesh or a mitzvah. That's the purpose. Chanukah, if you want to tie this with Chanukah, it works perfect. If you think about, we always talk about the victory of light over darkness. Why is it why the Eibush made the world in a way that when you have no eitzah, then the yeshuah comes? What the Eibush is dafka stam pushing us. Will mutschen chas v'sholom. The Eibush is tachas ateiv. Why is it the Eibush makes it that as long as you have eitzahs b'nafshe, there could be helam, there could be Hashem b'helam. You should never know from it. But when there is no eitzah, then it can't be held. Why not? Because the whole purpose of an Nisayan is for the word itself, nes. The word of Nisayan is made in order to pick you up. It goes through a darkness, mishatishka achama. When the sun sets on Chanukah, what do? We light up the darkness. The whole reason, if you stop a second and take it like a yid, and the Eibush, this is what the whole story is about. To understand it like a yid, and you'll see, if you're going through a challenge, recognize the challenge for what it is as a yid, act on it like a yid, and you will see yeshuah krei v'lovei. The Torah is like this. There's two ways to push away darkness. One way you push away darkness, you bring a light. You bring a light into a room that's dark, you push away the darkness. But the darkness never really went away. If you put out the light, the darkness comes right back. How do you take darkness and turn it into light, which is about Chanukah? How do you take the soyin and turn it into light? By using the darkness to become closer to the Eibishter. That's how you get it. Forget it. Take the darkness and realize Alef, emunah, se von Eibishter. Was will der Eibishter von mir? It's not this one, it's not that one. Right away you want to say, so what happened to this one? And do you send a thank you letter to that one? This is a korzatev takia, this is a stadless takia, alles gut and fine. But the Iker is the Eibishter. So when you think about why is the Eibishter pushing me through such an assignment, and the answer is because the Eibishter wants you to reveal the Mesiras Nefesh Chanukah. The reason why the Eden went through Ayovon and they went through the Timbos Ashmanim was not Chas v'Sholom to break the Jewish people, to sprechen Eden, Chas v'Sholom. Forget. The Eibishter wanted to give us a Yom Tov of Chanukah. Shmeina neiris that can give light or darkness. Bis Mashiach, when Mashiach kommen, shmeina neiris. How did that come? Dafka through Mishatishka Cham, when it gets dark. It starts getting dark when the neshama comes down into the body, and as we go through life, we hit plenty of time. But if we remember that the whole purpose of the darkness is to turn it into light, how? By not becoming further from the Eibishter, getting closer to the Eibishter. So now the darkness will never, ever, ever bother you. Because why? You use the darkness for your own thing. And on this note, we're going to continue. I want to finish like this. This part of the deeper with this Nakuda. Maybe I'm going to continue. How much time is people? Okay, we're going to break here for a song. I want to just say a few things that happened before. I got this letter, like I said, I took the piece of paper, I threw it into the locker. I continued davening. Interessant, that day I got an email with a yid, his name is Binyamin Don. He's from England. I spoke to him today. Anybody wants to call him, his number is 44208-905-5376. Zogn Mazel Tov. He used to write to me every so often. And he's sitting in England, talk about Avos Yisrael. He's sitting in England, and he's concerned about a Yid in prison it's unbelievable. Become Yisrael. So he sends me an email the night before this. I got this letter in the morning, and that night I opened my email, and I got this letter from Yaman Don. I want to tell you, by me, it's in England. He's finished, Zos Chanukah, he finished lighting his candles. Nu sie geendet Chanukah. Und Meile, es ist eine Yeshua, etwas so weiter. Somewhere, they shall weiter. I couldn't sleep at night. I mean, I didn't sleep at night, but Mr. Doctor, I couldn't sleep at night. What does he mean it's finished Chanukah? But it's Chanukah. That's what happened. The last email that I wrote, this is documented, 3:23, and I got freed 4:26. How much was it for? I wrote back an email. What's that Maisa? You've told me a Maisa that finished Chanukah. Chanukah is still here. The yeshuah can still happen. And the mailer, I got bracha, they should help that the yeshuah will happen. 4:30, they locked me into the cell. Glad I had another email with a friend of mine, David Ubendarf, who's in the crowd over here for years, Shalom Aleichem. And I explained to him how this Chanukah was better than every other Chanukah over there. We lit Menera on time. It was gewaldig. 3:30 locks in the cell, 4:26, the door swings open. The guard stands by the door and tells me, "Hey, Rubashkin, get out." That's the best words I heard in 8.5 years. Get out, I'm a chaya. This guy Bechlal used to greet me always with a good Shabbos. He was not a Jewish man, definitely not a Jewish man. And he used to start working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Shabbos. He used to see me on Tuesday for some good Shabbos. Wednesday good Shabbos and Thursday good Shabbos. Also good Shabbos. I can't still good Shabbos. What's the Maisa? Because he once heard me screaming good Shabbos. The other Yidden over there. So since then, he asked me what's going on. He thought I'm trying to break out. I'm screaming up Sakot, other goyim. So I said to him, no, it's about Shabbos. Anyway, since then, so usually he was like a very giving guy. Here is a very nervous, and he tells me, Rubashkin, get out. Where am I going? I was happy to hear I'm going out. I'm just davening and going home. Sagt mir, you're going to change your location. He's a wise guy, huh? He wouldn't tell me the truth. I grabbed a thousand film. They took me to a different building. I had the same story last year, but that's I've been 1,000 more. I came to another building, and I'm waiting in a room in one corner. Then in walks in the warden. The warden happened that period of time as a woman, because she walks in with her Sagan, with her assistant, and they're standing there like they're staring at me. It's very uncomfortable when you're staring there. I was not uncomfortable. I was wondering what's going on. I wanted to know what's going on, and to break the silence, I wanted to tell her, my mother told me you're not allowed to stare at people like that, I'm not a chutzpahniak, so I didn't say it. If imagine if you saw Kiris Yamsuf, you saw the water splitting, how would your face look? They were astonished. They were waiting for the paper to come in. The paper from the clemency. And obviously there's a moment you don't forget in life, and finally the paper comes in, and she takes the paper and she tells me, congratulations, Mr. Rubashkin. The President of the United States of America just signed your clemency petition, and you're a free man to go home. And gerade, this is a good time. Every time I mention this part of the story, I give a bracha to our dear President, Donald J. Trump. I make a standing ovation also. They should bench them, and should watch him, and David should see how he is. Yeah. Especially, l'chaim. Especially in a time like this, we see so much anti-Semitism, and with the Eibush that are angeschickt, a shliach hamalach, to Davke, to protect Eden. Not we look for protection Hashem Mashiach Melech Mekeinu, but the protection the Eibush sent to Dachman Mispal Shem Malchus, and versteht sich, I hear such words. I'm waiting 8.5 years to hear the words, you're going home. It's not that you can push the Zach. I live with this every single day. Aufgestanden früh, ja, schlafen bei Nacht, als mit dem Wörter. If you want to describe, imagine after getting a letter that you're staying in jail another 18 years, there's nothing Apitav can do about it. You wake up the next morning and you go to say Tehillim. I say the whole Tehillim every morning. Every morning, the whole Tehillim. Why did I say the whole Tehillim every morning? Very simple. I personally wanted to go home. And very, very much. So Eid, when he has a tzorah, he davens the Rebish, does Tehillim. That's what I did. Tehillim. I didn't know which kapitel to say. Habe ich ganz Tehillim. I covered every single Every single kapitel. Der Sachs. I waited with the ganze Tilim. Next morning, I got up, I said the whole Tilim again. And the Yitzhara was there, and I had told him, you stay in bed, you stay over, like that. Parshat, why? Because we know emunah means like this. If you want to come to Chazak, this is the Yesay that you say this. Emunah means once something happened to you, you have emunah pshuta only from the Eibishter. Nobody did this to you, only the Eibishter. Mamela, Zokman, Gam, Zula, Teva. Now, together with his emunah pshuta, that what the Eibishter is doing is Gam, Zula, Teva, the Yid has bitachon, gomor, and not because he decided to have bitachon. This is what the Eibishter wants from it. There's a mitzvah to have bitachon in the Eibishter. Rabbeinu Yenet writes in Shari Tshuva, the mitzvah is based on the pasuk you see you see people there, a greater army is trying to kill you. Do not be afraid. Why? How can I be afraid? Because the Eibishter is with you. Somebody told me that Chudash Marim says Nochen Libe B'Tuv Hashem Samoch is Rosh Tevis Chanuka. How do you like that? Nochen Libe B'Tuv Hashem Sofer Tevis is Nun Vav Ches Yud. Hashem is Hey, and Samoch is Chof is Libe LeYira. You're not, when you're with the Eibishter, you're never afraid. B'Meila, what's our job to do? Every day I wake up in the morning. For yesterday I said, thank you, Hashem. And I tried very hard, very much to merely say it with MS. And that next day I had bitachon, the Eibishter will free me. And the next day I woke up after this letter. I woke up the next morning and Baruch Hashem I was freed. So so here I was. I got this piece of news. I was really excited. My heart and my mind was overwhelmed with thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And it's the reason we're gathering today is that it's the momentum, but one thing I can share with you, feelings you can't share, but thoughts you can share, and the thought is like this. Yesterday I got a letter from the highest power in this country, this great country, United States of America, is the most powerful country in the world. And they're telling me, the most powerful institution in this country is telling me, you're staying in jail for another 18 plus years. That's what happened yesterday. And what did the Yid think about emunah? They're not the ones who machriya. The Eibishter is machriya. And the Eibishter sagt, that there'll be yeshuah. The next day, Alef Bais, the next day, the Eibishter showed them who's boss, and I got kicked out of there. The Tzifano says that by Yitzum and Abeir, the yeshuah Hashem come terrifying, but as Schnellkeit, they ripped me out of there, Schnell, out. And I said to this lady, okay, but it's Chanuka, I have to, today's Chanuka, they have miracles, it's not about politics, God is really free me because God loves Jewish people, because she wrote the permission to light Chanuka Maneda. So I said to her that God loves me, God made me a nest, and Baruch Hashem, I'm free. But you should know, I have to go, then I forgot, I was in the middle of a Suda Chanuka, so I told her I got to go back for a few minutes to bench. And the parents wouldn't let me go bench. She said, I asked to be my machirim. I benched over. I said, Val Nisim. I mit der Größe gesagt, zum Babysitten, Val Nisim, Val Purk, Val Groß, Val Val Flois. And then she asked me, what do you want to do? Who do you want to pick you up? I said, listen, who should pick me up? The Rebbetzin. Yeah, so she called the lawyer, Chaim Besef. There's a lawyer that's Chibbi gegeben, Chaim Besef abfällt, Chibbi gegeben, very stark for the case. He called her. Yeah. Akapishnas, he likes to say, a lawyer sitting in the west side of the country is worried about a Jew on the east side of the country, probably 4 years. He never asked for $1, did everything mamish for bechinam, and the prayer of the Eibishter, you can clap him. This is a lawyer charges $1,200, $1,500 an hour. This is not. It's Chibbi gegeben, and David showed him a lot of nisim. And just to get to the point, he calls up my wife. My wife was then going across the George Washington Bridge. I was just crossing the bridge today as a free person, and he tells my wife she was coming back from a yeshiva where she was davening with the children. The David should help me from Bais Esther, yeah. in Burpark, Bais in Burpark with the kinder lacht, I sing Tehillim. We always tie together Ian and Teira, Tefillah and Tzedakah with anything we ever did. And she's coming back and she gets a call and the lawyer tells her, go to the prison and pick up your husband. But first go home and take his clothes, because in the prison they put you on Purim clothes. They don't have regular clothes over there. She had to put regular clothes. But the emphasis is that she always kept a pair of clothes in the car, because she had bitachon, the Eibishter will come the day that she'll get the call like that. And this is what bitachon means. Even before the yeshuah. Look at because Shlach Kodesh, plenty of Svarim talk about even before the yeshuah comes, that Mashnachli B'duch Hashem, she did not, the Eibishter made the nest in such a way, because Ayanta, she had Ayanta, The pale the Eibishter made it, that the nest happened that she wasn't home. She was in the car far away from that. We live in Muncie, and she used this opportunity, had her clothes in the car. She went straight to the prison, and she came to pick me up, Baruch Hashem. I went down over there, and I came down the hill. Who was over there? 7 vans were lined up over there with Eden from Bloomberg, New York, Satmach Sidim, they started dancing in the middle of the street. They said, we can't dance in the middle of the street, let's go to the gas station. And we danced, and from there went to my parents' house, and they went to 770. Tonight, we're going to verbring after, don't leave, they'll be singing now. Weiter an warme Sachen, weiter mit Ibezellen Meisters, für emunah bitachon, and the Wimke sich starken, and Bail every shall have a geulah plot, we will have a geulah clothing. L'chaim. I forgot to mention that a bracha for Yechiel Phil asked for us, as I help him, he should be freed from prison, and this matzav, this mesiba is nodav, is in honor of the Fur Shleima of Sholom Dave Ber ben Miriam Breina and Tzvi Hirsch ben Gutl. Shavar Fur Shleima l'mayla b'derech hatava l'chaim midin l'chaim.
verloren gehen. Neu zusammenkommen, wenn wir Brüderland zu sehen. Mit Abasachim in Jerusalem, mit Simcha und mit Frei. Und wissen, wer die Welt genau, als heute milvado.
Okay, first of all, before we go on to the next part, I want to say Ben Zion Friedman has been a Bais by us since he was a young child. And today, Baruch Hashem was singing and we're bringing it together. And I want to thank him very much for coming. Das ganze Gefühl, mechazek sein und aufheben dem Elam. Okay, halten wir jetzt die Matze was so. So I want to, this second part, I want to share with you a story that at Bais I never shared with anybody before. And why am I sharing it with you tonight? Pashat, but went through 8.5 years. Ben Zion grew up over there. We were busy building up a geulah. We lived together with the Friedmans. His father, I would say, a goyin shlita. Reb Manis, he lived in Minnesota. We lived there 3.5 years right next to him. We grew up together. I was older than him, was a younger bacher, and then later we moved into Postville. He came to our yeshiva. We were building, we were growing. Then mitamol, I found myself in a matzav, oyim v'neira. I give me igre rom b'ramikta to a pit that you couldn't imagine any deeper pit than that. And one of the chasadim of the Eibush that you saw was going through the 8.5 years. Baruch Hashem, I came out. I was never touched. Nobody hit me. Nobody beat me up. I saw people who had smashed faces. I saw people who needed to have plastic surgery. One of the favorite weapons they have over there is they're putting a lock in a sock. They put a lock in a sock and they swing it around and smash somebody's face. And you're talking about, because they wanted 27 years to sit in prison, they put me in a place that was onion vaneda, not as a stam between, they put me in the, mit Chevre was am Ritzich and mafia. It was people, how do you say it, without talking down to anybody, if you saw them on one side of the street, you'd walk over to the other side of the street, go push it. How do you describe it? And here I was with them 8.5 years, not all 8.5 years, but let's say 7.5 years, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day with the kakas, with the maisas, with the tattoos, with the ganze maisa. By the way, it's impossible for me to share with you all the stories, but in the front of the lobby, there's this forum over there. I used to email to the Leibish. I said, share the stories in the book form. If you want to have it, you can have it outside. But the kids said, one story, it's one of the books, I don't even know which bounded it. I thought to share this with you today, Pasha, for a few reasons. First of all, this was good and unheib. It was after, I was in a county jail. In a county jail over there, your problem is not to be between other people. They lock you up more or less alone, maybe with a few other people. And in this particular place, they put me in a room, and I was fairly alone for a while, which was great. I davened, I learned, I got up in the morning, I gedavened, I gave 40 ganze meise. And over there in the county jail, they don't have any limitations on the telephone, because they want you to talk, because they're listening to the conversation. They want you to talk, and they're listening, so they can use it against you. So there's a telephone there too. I learned. So it was a different moment. And in one day, they wheel in a guy, a young guy, a big, solid guy. Why they wheel him in? Because he was missing one foot, sachakel. And the one foot's hard to walk. So anyway, he had not to make fun of anybody, he had never one foot missing. He was an angry, bitter person. He had a fake leg. How do you say it? A bitter person. I'm a Yiddish guy, I'm happy. Was machst du? Trying to get a conversation. So geht etwas nicht. Alles Briges. I got put him in this room. There was a television. Baruch Hashem, I made a chalata right in the beginning. I'm not watching television. We'll talk about it later. And for 8.5 years, Baruch Hashem, I never once looked at a television. So if anybody wants to tell you that look at a show because it's going to calm you down, you should know it's a lie. It's unverkehrt. If you want to go out of your mind, watch a show. If you want to be yourself, you want to have clarity of your mind, du kannst keine verstrachten, keine Munde haben, keine Klarkeit von deinem Kopf. Guck nicht, unverkehrt. So much so, in the county jail, they take away your watch. They don't have your watch. How do you know what time it is? Eid is always tied to time. It's man Krishma, it's man Tfil Shabbos, Motzei Shabbos, also Zeit. I'm not watching. So I asked the guy, you take my watch? How do I know the time? He said, look at the TV. I said, I don't watch TV. So over there, every hour they open the door to look. The guard would open the door to look inside to make sure you're alive. So I say, hey, what do you want? What time is it? That's how I know what time it was. So from hour to hour, I know what time it was. They got a little sugar from me, but that's their problem. They took away my watch. The kid said, this guy wanted to watch television. This one-legged guy. I can't stop him. So I positioned, I was on the side, I positioned my pillow over there, so I shouldn't have to see it. And the audio is the audio about it. So I told him, listen, you can tell me what you want, but I'm davening. When I'm praying, you can't watch television. What's praying? I explained what praying is. I have to focus, I'll concentrate. Okay, so we made a peace treaty that in the morning, 2 hours in the morning, the television is off. David helps one day. He went out to get a shower, whatever it was, he comes back in. I started davening. And at the geweld gucken auf a show. So he wants to put, I said, no, we have a peace treaty. So right there and then he broke up the peace treaty and he puts it on. Anyways, to make a long story short, the kid said, I'm davening. And I see this from the side. Wasn't it as good? Okay. So I see from the side that he's attacking me. That's the, I know exactly. I know exactly. It's not wichtig all the protein. This big heavy guy. I think he was 6 foot. That big guy. Never using a foot. He came at me with a zet. That's a clap in the cup. We're alone in a room, and I'm 5'7", and I'm not the strongest guy you want to look at. I see from the corner of my eye, he's attacking me. I picked up my right hand and deflected his punch, and I gave him a shtupazah, so he fell back. And I ran to the door, and I started banging. I started banging on the door with the ganze keach, and over there, in the prison, the place is made out of cinder block and cement, so the place is like a big drum. You bang on the door, the whole place is like the guard comes running, what's going on? I said, the guy's attacking me. They knew, why did they bring him in the Chatchila? Because he was a troublemaker. They knew he was a troublemaker. They took him out. No, Baruch Hashem, we took him out. So I'm breathing okay for a while. But at night, 2 guards came. They intercepted me. I had a legal call. They intercepted me and they tell me, you're going to the shu. What's a shu? A shu is a loch, the hole. Shu is not S-H-O-E. For all English speakers, it's S-H-U. It's a Rosh Tevis for special housing unit. Why is it so special? Because America is a very, very, very great country. America loves to be at least viewed as a kind people. And a shu, solitary confinement, is a place of torture. So they can't relate. They can't call it solitary confinement because solitary confinement is an accepted word for torture. So the Kikola Klippers, how do they resolve the issue? Very pashut. They call a different name. We're not calling solitary confinement, it's called shu. Special as a unit, what's so special about the place? We torture people there, but that's upon him, they threw me into the shu. Here's my first experience of being in a shu. And I get in there, there's a tiny little room. And there's a cement, the bed is not even made of steel now, it's made of cement. I don't know what the big difference is, but upon the difference comes to us. And they made me pack up all my stuff that I had. I had 15, 20, 30 sforim with me, and 1,000 film. I walk in there, and the 1,000 film was a small table. So I put the sforim on this ledge, on the cement ledge, and they took this mattress, I put it on the floor, and I slept on the floor. Right? I think as a place of bissl atzvus. I was afraid of atzvus like from fire. Atzvus is the worst possible thing. The depression is the worst. So I started singing a song. Where's Benny? Let it die, let it die, let it die, let it die, yeah, 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 yeah. I sing as a freilich. Mit them all next door, there was a schwarzer Haitian guy from Haiti. If was Haitian. Haitians like gelegd, ha, 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 Rabbi. He must have seen me going, I love that song, sing it more. So, Ganesh, I'm hot lieb that, there's a few other guys in the cell. But Ganesh, I started singing one song, I sang another song. Gebeurd was in the Gimmel, is something that's made us all verder. I say gegangen weiter. And it was obviously it's going to stand. I'm laughing about it today, but it was a very, very difficult point of time. What's going to be? Now they're accusing me of fighting with somebody else. Not only they started putting out the word that Rubashkin is fighting in jail, as a wilde mensch, fighting in jail. I'm trying to show I'm a normal person. They're trying to paint me as a meshuggah. So Baruch Hashem, why am I telling you the story? First of all, the guy never hurt me. Not only that, in this cell there was a camera. I said to the guy, he said, you don't have to hear my story. Look at the camera, and you'll see the whole story, that I didn't fight. They attacked me. If somebody attacks me, I have to try to defend myself. They don't want to look at the camera. The warden said that he hears from one day goes by, second day goes by. The Weile, by day, what do you think they're doing over there? They're talking. There's like 5, 6 guys talking. And they're talking about all Narishkeit in the world, the drug deal they did here, the drug deal they did there. And then they want to know what my information is. I started talking to them about Eid. I started telling them about the Eberster. I tell them about the Eberster created the world. I started taking the Meise. One day, the leader of the whole gang says, today, we're only talking things of substance. Only taking the Meises. So nobody can talk about anything. This conversation's happening through doors. Nobody sees each other. But we're only talking about things of substance. It was a very quiet day. Nobody had any substance to talk about. So he went still. It went through till Friday. The Weile came, there is a meset called Alef. If you notice, you came in to your seat, you found a card called Alef. Alef, I'm not sure why they gave the name Alef, but Alef is Aus Yoshir, Alef is Hechef und Tava, whatever the Cheshbon is. There's an organization that helps Asirim, and this, I'm going to dedicate 10 minutes of this evening to this. And over here on the stage, over here you have dedicated, I don't know if you realize, but you have volunteers that used to come to the prison and visit. Akoponim, Alef is an organization that does mamish wonders, and the family got hold of one of the workers in Alef, Haste, Reb Tzvi Boyarsky. Can I ask him? A lot of other beautiful people. He was Dafka the guy, and he gets on the phone with the warden. He tells the warden, "Listen, Mr. Warden, you got it wrong. I mean, they tell you, look at the video. You'll see the whole story." I don't got to look at the video. He tells him, "I hear from my workers that he was fighting with them. If you're fighting with somebody, both go in the shoe. But look at the video." Then there's another tzaddik, was heißt Reb Pinchas Lipschitz from the Ated. Reb Pinchas Lipschitz from the Ated, to wissen, is a tzaddik. I call him always Pinchas ben Elozim Harnakeyan. He's a mamish, you can call him a kanoi, in the sense that he heard there's a Yid in Iowa, they're attacking, it's not important, he's not a Lubavitcher, he's not a Chassidischer, he's a Yid, a Litvischer, a starke Litvischer. At Yeher, that Yid is in trouble, he put everything he has in life on the line to help another Yid. That's obviously his role. A fact. And the only reason he's not here tonight is because Nebuch is an oval, he can't be with the music. But last year he was here, he spoke very nicely. So Pinchas Lipschitz is gesund. Huh? Hold your team, of course. And Vihesa doesn't also bottom line marketing. He left to run away already. Who is that? Yes, Safer, of course I know him, yeah. He also very helpful. And he said the right story. He posted, this is how it's important, Chevre. Stop reading goyish sources. He posted on the matzav, on his thing, the Emerson Meise, and Rubashkin was thrown into prison, into shul, because he was attacked by a goy when he was davening. That's what happened. So, and he called the incident anti-Semitic for what it is today. Today, every anti-Semitic is good. This is 10 years ago when anti-Semitism was, we don't want to talk about it. Today, talk anti-Semitism. He heard about it, and it seems like this warden was told about this site, and this warden, they wished to help, it bothered him. It bothered him why they're calling him an anti-Semite. So he tells Rabbi Tzibur Yaski from Alef, so I'm sharing you a story, it's an amazing story. For me, it was a yeshuah mamash. He tells him, why are you Jews calling me an anti-Semite? I'm not. The guy was fighting. So he says, Rabbi Yaski tells him, what do you mean he was fighting? He wasn't fighting. Look at your video. It says, he wasn't fighting, got the entire, yeah? So the big chiddush was that they made a deal. Rabbi Tzibur Yaski said to him, listen, you look at your video, and I'll make sure that matzav.com takes it off the air. That was big chiddush. He called up Rabbi Lipschitz, as eingesund. Rabbi Lipschitz took it off the air. He looked at the video. Friday afternoon, he calls me into the room, and he says, you're out of the shoe, you're going back. You're not, no more in the shoe. And that's how the whole story finished. A, that I wasn't heard begashemis, and B, I wasn't maligned that I was fighting in prison. How did this happen? Because Yidden are caring about other Yidden that are in Tfisa. That's how it happened. And there are a lot of Yidden, yeah, you can think, yeah, we have a brother, we have a cousin, we have somebody, a brother is a distant Tfisa, and stop looking at what the Goyim are telling you. Those guys with the machetes are coming when they're telling you what happened, and start looking at what really happened. And maybe, and whatever happened is wichtig. The ikir is help for the Hayidin. The Kitzer, I'm using this moment to share with you what Alef is about. If you can take a minute, whoever's here, Begashmis, whoever's here on technology, listening on the cable, take a minute and talk. The money is always needed. Two things I want to ask from you. First of all, volunteers. Over here, I asked Rabbi Schwartz, a dying from Satmar, used to come visit me many times in Tfisa. And he came to, I'm going to ask him to share a few words. He used to come, for me, it was a breath of fresh air. He used to come in, we used to share. And then Rabbi Isaac Weiss over here, if I come and tanzen. We used to call him the dancing bear. The dancing bear is right here. And then in the crowd over here, there's other guys that are hiding. There's a baron and there's another guy. The other volunteers. If anybody in this crowd wants to do something to help another guy in Tfisa, take a minute, write on the card. You want to be a volunteer. I spoke to Rabbi Yaski. Pasha needs volunteers. When you volunteer to go in to a prison, you're taking somebody out, pidyon shvuim for a day. You go in there, you take him out from his place, you talk to him, you bechazek him, and it's mamish the biggest form of pidyon shvuim you could do. So that's one thing I'd like to ask you to do. If I don't know who has the time over here, but a bacher, a young man, and there's a lot of Yidden that do that. That can do that, number one. And number two, Pasha Begashim, if you can't do Begashim, is be there. Please give a few dollars to Alef, and they can help from weiter reden. The Weiler, I want to ask Rabbi Schwartz to say a few words, was what he saw when he came to prison.
Ich rede in Jiddisch, ich kann nicht aufhalten lang. Aber jetzt hat man geendigt, Chanuka ist gewähn Halail v'hoidua. Chanuka ist zwei Sorten Leuben, was man leubt der Eibischter. Halail in Hoidua. Wussi dus Halail in wussi dus Hoidua. Steht es was Emmes, in derselbe Sache steht bei Salaivi. Halail meint, wenn der Eibischter Getina sagt, was jeder sieht, der Gitzkeit von dem. Das ist Halail. Hoidua meint etwas mehr. Beschaß, wenn ich es bekommen, hat es ausgesehen wie ein Duver Leuteuf. Und mir ist Moide zum Eibischen, als es ja gewinn gibt. Moira Rabbi sei, in Zemmer du Pravenen, der gewaltige Azule, was Klal Yisroel gehabt mit Reb Sholom Mordechai Rubashkin. Ins fragen wir aber der Schale, von wo ist heran? Ayid fragt nicht kein Schales, Ayid gleibt. Aber ins sehen wir alle, wo ist der gewaltige Auftier gebracht von Klal Yisroel. Wenn man amul gerät von bitachon, hat mir gesagt, ja, friedige Tzadike, man gehat betuchen, du sie nicht von unser Dor, ins kennen nicht du, was darge von betuchen. Man mir gesehen, als es du a Jid, wo es offiziell sucht als a Pushete Jid, nicht kein größere Schiebe, in a größer Ruf. A Jid, wo es hat bekommen der Chinnach, der richtige Chinnach für seine Taten, so sagen, sind stark. Huben Emmese Minne, in Emmese betuchen, in das hab ich nicht gesehen, du, wenn ist rausgekommen. Ich pflege einziehen dort in der Tinkele finstere Twisse. Der Weg, die Starkheit, wo es gerät dort, ist pinkt, also stark wie redet du. Noch einmal, es ist pinkt, also stark, Azam in Minne, Azam in betuchen. Sie gewähnen aber beginnen von Bule Chazik. Ich bin gekommen, einmal Chazik sein. Wir nehmen zu Miss-Chazik. Und du sie den Kinder von Halail, wo ich tue. Man hat gesehen in Twisse, wie viele Jiden hat aufgehoben. Ma auf des Lechairis. Man hat gemacht ehrliche Jiden. Für Menschen, die gehalten gut nicht. Und hat gemacht ehrliche Jiden. Gewähnt in Eiwe. Hat gewollt, man sagen, sein Jiden mit Kuscherfleisch. Es ist eine wichtige Sache, Kuscherfleisch. Aber zu einem Minne im Betuchen kommt es nicht zu. Der Rabbonim Shloim hat gesagt, Reb Sholom Mordechai, ihr seid ein Kandidat. Nicht nur zu machen Kuscherfleisch für Jiden, nur machen kuschere Jiden. Machen Jiden mit Emmese Minne im Betuchen. Soll der Eibischter helfen. In stehen Leuben dem Eibischten. Sei fahren nach Rostnehmer, Reb Sholom Mordechai. In sei fahren im Wald, ganz Klal Yisroel. Mit einer Anleigen in einer Rostnehmer, Reb Sholom Mordechai. Soll der Eibischter helfen, soll bleiben, Arishime, die Gdische. In Sommer solche sind sie Emmese Minne, in Emmese betuchen, in Beschisee, Tage solche sind, rauszugehen. Für den Größten, mit Abstiegen mit dem Präsident, Jurem Hoidoi, noch der größere Beschäfer, der Emesser Mann in Gesuoilom, hat den Zug in seinen befreit, und sind wir gehen zum Schirrzeit keine Umein.
You have no idea how much chizuk you gave me. I'm reason I'm doing this is partial to encourage anyone over in here or on the camera. Take a minute and decide you want to become a volunteer. And write to Alef, you want to be a volunteer? Pasha. There's no bigger mitzvah pidyon shvuyim. When you take somebody, you come to the visit room, like he did, and you see a fresh face, and you can relate to him, and you talk, you're Pasha taking out of prison for the moment. Next thing I want to share with you is a lot of singers came. You had Benny Friedman. No, who's Benny? Benny Friedman came many times. And getummelt und getanzt. He didn't come only himself. He came with the ganze Chevre seine, the ganze Trask, the ganze Bechol Alef. His brother, Reb Avram Friedman came. Mordechai and David came. Shreki came. And Lipa came. A lot of big singers came to be mechazikos and we danced. Why am I telling the story? We getanzt dorten. Imagine a room. We come to rein dorten. You have 20 guys dressed in pajamas. I call it Purim clothes. Just Purim dick. And walking people dressed like fine dimension, maybe with a tie. And who are these people wearing pajamas, Purim clothes? And they're not robots. They're the same people like you. They have a family, they have friends, they have a life. It's mashpil zei. Kommen sie herein, die Chevre, der Benny. And you come herein mit der Simcha, mit tanzt, mit Freilich. And Pasha picks up the spirits of all the Yidden, and that's why he's here today. I said to him, that's a Benny. Also komm, sie hätten mal kommen tanzen in Dorten, dann kannst du sicher kommen tanzen da eigen, ja? Wann können wir kommen? Lang benchen. But one of the Chevre, Rabbi Shwaki, he got so inspired. Over there, they come and sing. They said they came 5:30. They had to be out by 8:30, 6:30, 7:30, or by 8 o'clock, 7:30, whatever. 2 hours. 2 hours after dance. Haben wir getanzt. Ich getanzt. I made a lot of coolers. I was trying to chaperein the simcha from the moment to last me to the next time they come. And he made a song. Bethany has been singing. Singen dem Nigen. Ani ma'amin b'nisim. It's a bisschen afreilich an Nigen azah. I'm not sure exactly what the tone is, but the word is, Ich glaube nisim. I always used to tell him, I tell him, Benny, I tell him, we're coming out. The Eibishter says, bitachon brings the yeshuah. Ich bin betech bei Hashem. Nobody else. Maar uitlezen. So when I came out, so he made a song. While I was there, he says he wanted to write it as a slow song, as a unbedingt song. And somebody told him, the Pichas Lipshus told him, listen, you're talking to the wrong guy. You have to make something lebedik. So he made this song, the following song, and we bet Benzin singen them nicht.
מרגישים שהחיים כל כך קשים, מה יהיה עוד יום עוד שנה, אבל אני מחייך לא דואג להמשך, יש לי אמונה. לפעמים מרגישים שהחיים כל כך קשים, מה יהיה עוד יום עוד שנה, אבל אני מחייך לא דואג להמשך, יש לי אמונה. אני מאמין בניסים, אני יודע שיש אלוקים והוא בורא עולם, הכוח של כולם שומע את קולי, אני מאמין בניסים, אני יודע שיש אלוקים והוא בורא עולם, הכוח של כולם ישלח לי את הנס, ישלח לי Now we sang the song from Shmeki, I'm going to ask him to sing the song from Benzi, Charasho. Oh. I see the sun come up this morning. I kid. We hope for the day when the whole world will stand up and say, Harasho, Harasho, Slava Bogu, Harasho, from the bottom of my heart, from the finish to the start. Harasho, Harasho, life is holy, life is pure, and every note I sing, it's you I'm singing for. Harasho, Harasho, Slava Bogu, Harasho, for the blessings in my life, for my issues high and wide. Harasho, Harasho, every hour, every day, every breath I have, I'll use only to say Harasho. Yeah, ba 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 bum bum bum. Harasho, la da da la da da da. Harasho, Harasho, Slava Bogu, Harasho, Slava Bogu, Slava Bogu, Harasho. Toy va toy va toy, kilo chol rachamecho veyamerachem, kilo samu chasodecho kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kivinu lo. Toy va toy, veyamerachem, kimeyo oilom. Toy va toy, kilo chol rachamecho veyamerachem, kilo samu chasodecho kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kivinu lo. Toy va toy, kilo chol rachamecho veyamerachem, kilo samu chasodecho kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kivinu lo. Toy va toy, kilo chol rachamecho veyamerachem, kilo samu chasodecho. Toy va toy, kilo chol rachamecho veyamerachem, kilo samu chasodecho kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kivinu lo. Toy va toy, kilo chol rachamecho veyamerachem, kilo samu chasodecho kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kivinu lo. Toy va toy, kilo chol rachamecho veyamerachem, kilo samu chasodecho kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kimeyo oilom, kivinu lo.
Here you see Eden. We sing to him, to come to a place called prison, and we left of Eden. I want to share this with you with the passion of Geya. Two things. A, we bet by to volunteer. B, if you can't volunteer, you have cards over there, fill it out for a few bucks. Outside, you have a box over there, you can fill it out also. But kids, let me now, I want to share with you 3 stories. This is Negeya to emunah and bitachon for ourselves and for our children. I want to share with you 3 stories. The way we see, I'm saying this in English, it's besser reden auf Yiddish, aber auf English, I want to reach more people, so I'm saying it in English. I want to share with you story number 1. In the place called prison, they had a visiting room. A visiting room. In the visiting room, they allowed the family and friends to come to visit. Now, Benny would come in to visit in a different situation for davening. The visit room was a visit room. And this visit room, one of the chesadim was, it wasn't through a window, it was on a table. I sat with the family, and Baruch Hashem, I wasn't cut off from the family. We sat around, we verbracht mit the kinder. My youngest son, I don't know if he's here, I don't mention his name. My youngest son was 4 years old when they came into the house, as they do to many people. They want to be mashpil you. They come in with the whole force, the whole brutal force, and they lock you up with chains and hands and feet as if you're not the guy who's the stabber with the machete. Him, they don't lock up with hands and feet. Him is, anyways, they lock your hands and feet in front of the kids, drag me away. And so this started, a 4-year-old kid watching this. Came every Friday. My wife would bring him every Friday to visit his father. The father was dressed in Purim clothes, in his pajamas. Not the nicest clothes you want your father to see your father. But Baruch Hashem, and this I want to share with you tonight about chinuch, about Alef, Bais, emunah, bitachon, not only about yourself, about when you have a problem, about Zugang. Wie geht man zu einer Sache? Zimeret al pi seichel, zimeret al neshama. Does a Yid address something according to logic, as the Rabbonim wanted them in times of Chanuka, or he addresses the situation how it affects his neshama? Obviously, we're in Chanuka today. The Rabbonim v'timu kol hashmanim. The Rabbonim came across, and they v'timu, they wanted to be metama the shaman, the time that it has in Gettlichkeit, in Kedusha, v'timu, they made a tama. How v'timu? They brought in an ear of logic. We're going to understand this. We're going to explain how they say over there in prison. We're going to explain this. Want to explain this? So this is in this little room. They had an ice cream machine. Ice cream machine has ice cream. Every child likes ice cream. And but the problem is that a lot of the ice cream in there is either not kosher b'chlal, or happens to be chol vacuum. And chol vacuum is metamtem es halev es hameach. And even though it has a little thing there with a D on it, you know what D stands for, right? What does D stand for? For disaster. D is for disaster. D stands for danger, disaster. For a Yid to eat chol vacuum is a danger. Why? Because when he eats chol vacuum, it takes his sensitivity that he has a Yid, it takes his neshama. I want to show you that Mamash Maisa. I have my child going through this big Nisayan called whatever I went through, and nobody should ever know from it. And instead of saying, oh, it's going through such a Nisayan, such a traumatic experience, we have to give him what he wants. Fakert. Make sure that he keeps his sensitivity as a Yid, understands that the Eibush is with him, the Eibush is with us, and the Eibush will ultimately help us. As Baruch Hashem did. So we're sitting over there, and he knows that we don't eat the disaster type of ice cream. One day, the Eibush helps. The guy walks into the visiting room, and he's wearing a yarmulke. He walks over to the ice cream machine. He buys 2 ice creams, one for himself and one for the guys visiting, and they sit down to eat. This little boy sees this little kid eating ice cream. He gives me a yank by my sleeve. I'll never forget this. And he tells me, Tati, I want ice cream. You see, the guy just bought ice cream. I was telling him that the Klein's ice cream is being, you know Klein's ice cream? No, you don't. Klein's ice cream, the owner of Klein's ice cream used to come visit somebody there also, by the way. And he promised us he can get ice cream in there, but it seems like there was a lot of bureaucracy, and for whatever reason, the ice cream machine couldn't, for the moment, handle the Klal Yisroel ice cream. And he tells me, so he tells me he's hot, he wants ice cream. I give a look. I got excited. He finally brought it. I give a look. The guy's holding 2 ice creams that are clearly chol vacuum. What do you do? Right? Now, in the Chivas Alavavas, it says that a beteich b'Hashem is somebody who makes sure he's mishtadl to do everything the Eibush wants, because the same way he wants the Eibush to do for him what he wants, the same way he has to do what the Eibush wants. It's a midah connected midah thing, you know. When you want the Eibush to do what you want, you have to make sure what the Eibush wants. So obviously, you're not going to eat chalavakim. We're not going to eat chalavakim. But now he sees another Jew eating it. He was confused. I said to him, listen, little boy, this is chalavakim. But soon Mr. Klein is going to bring Klal Yisroel. Now, this little boy lost it. He was 8 years old. I looked at the email that I wrote the story to my family later, and he was 8 years old at that point in time. A little boy. As an 8-year-old boy, he became very, very agitated, and he started kvetching like an 8-year-old boy knows how to do it. I can't take it. It's so hot. I can't sit. He stands up. He sits down. You ever see your little brother doing that? Yeah. It's a nudge after nerven, you know. So I try to calm him down. The guard said, "This is not a library. This is a medium security prison." The guard calls me over and he says to me, "Rubashkin, if you don't get your child under control, I'm going to cut off your visit." Now, for me, a visit was mamash air. So I didn't want him to cut it off. So I get back to my kid, and I'm gonna start explaining him. Why he shouldn't be making so much noise. The guy just told me that if you keep on getting up and sitting down, he's gonna throw you out. And of course, you want to sit with your tati, and you want to visit, and mommy wants to sit. And Mila sit down, and then now he can. I can't take it. It's so hot. I need ice cream. So now it's plan B. That didn't work. The seichel part didn't work. What's plan B? You start bribing. Okay, calm down now. Every parent here knows exactly how it works. In an hour and a half, mommy's taking you, and she'll buy for you 2 ice creams. No? It's a businessman. You wait now, an hour, and in an hour, 2 ice creams. No, I need ice cream now. 3 ice creams. Wait an hour, we have 3 ice creams. 4 ice creams, 5 ice creams, I got up to 10. I got 6, 7. The kid doesn't want to leave go. Like we want Mashiach now, he wants ice cream now. You can't get we want Mashiach now. Ice cream now is echt een goede zaak. I couldn't get this kid under control. The guard, get me a cook on, and I say, hey, and one more warning, and you're out of here. And this place is a serious place. It's not the. What do I do here? Wat tut man da? Hab sich, and this is about, ich hab sich gereden mit dem Kind. Ba'id, I'm going to talk to the kid like a Jew. Not put the seichel on the side, put the bribery on the side. Talk to Ba'id, like I would talk to myself. I said to him, listen, Ingela, you have 2 beredas. Bereda number 1 you can have ice cream right now. And you'll be happy, right? Because you have ice cream. But the Eibishter won't be happy. Bereda number 2 you wait an hour, and then you'll be happy. You'll have ice cream, and then you'll be happy, and the Eibishter will also be happy. Which one do you want? How do I say? Watch this little boy. This is a boy that went through Gehenna for 4 years. It's not a boy that went through on 13th Avenue and picked himself out the best Chanuka present. Another guy is a kid was durchgegangen Gehenna, 27 years. He doesn't know if it's his chuppah, his father will be there. So his father was not there. And he looks at him, and mitamol, he hears that if he waits an hour and a half, then he'll get ice cream and he'll be happy, and the Eibishter will be happy. He stopped talking about ice cream. He himself changed the conversation. He started talking about, I forget what, about something else. So, this is the message of Chanuka. Betare. You want to talk to your children? We're talking now that Baruch Hashem, this Mesiba is connected with the Mesiba with Das Mesiba. We all have children in our house. And today is very prevalent. Everybody's coming in with dvarim sichliim. They're going to explain you exactly how a child's mind works. And all dvarim mamish yevonim nikbetzu olai. This is a ma'aseh yevonim. When you're talking to a Yiddish kind, you have to know you're talking to somebody who has 2 nefoshes. The Balatanya says that a Yid has a nefesh alik Bamis, and he has the Felikis. You can't make a Yiddish child happy. You can't solve a Jewish child's emotional problems, or whatever you want to call it, if you don't talk to him about who he is. He's a Yid. And this is one of the things the Rebbe should give you to understand, with all the trauma we were going through, with all the Schwierigkeiten we were going through, it wasn't easy. The hardest part of a visit was when the visit finished, not coming in was easy. Hi, how are you? Going out, and this little 4 or 5-year-old kid couldn't understand why Tati is going one way, he's going the other way. Why is Tati not following home? The Tati doesn't like him anymore. It was the hardest, and he would cry. This child, 4 years later, was able to understand that if he waits an hour and a half, he will be happy, and the Eibishter will be happy, and suddenly the knowledge that the Eibishter is happy was strong enough to him that mitamol, the heat didn't bother him anymore. And that's the lesson of Chanukah I want to share with you. If you want to know what emunah bitachon is, red zu dein Kind wie a Yid. Heruf reden zu dein Kind wie a Yovon. He's not a Yovon. A Yiddish Kind. He has a neshama. And I'll tell you something else. And I don't know if he never told me this. Maybe I should ask him nice over my mitzvah. But there's a deeper word over here. Initially I thought, well, look at this. What 10 ice creams couldn't do, knowing that the Eibishter is happy, did do. But there's a deeper word over here. Because when you learn Tanya, and you know that we have, every Jewish child has a nefesh alikis, which is a chelik elikam mal mamash, then it's taka impossible for a Yiddish person, a child, to be happy if the Eibishter is not happy. It can't work. For a moment, it may look as if you can buy happiness another way, but it doesn't work, because you're as a Metzias, b'sa'id. You can't sein freilach, you can't sein b'simcha unless you take care of your nefesh alikis. You can bribe you from today till tomorrow because you know who you are, b'sa'id. It's the honest mensch. And this is the truth, and I suspect the kid understands that. That's not Ma'aser number one. Ma'aser number two, it's not a personal story, but it's a story that really stuck out. There's a lot of stories like this. There was a guy, I used to walk around over there, the Yarmulke and Tzitzis. This is between guys that I don't know if you'd want to keep your door open. Today, Ma'aser would stop you. First of all, I get chas v'sholom to become afraid from what's going on, what the guy want to do, because the Maral Meprog writes that the pachad alone, in the Sivas HaBitachon, he has a sefer called Sivas HaBitachon, he writes that the pachad, the meira, the yira of something begashmius alone causes a makesh for somebody. You're not going to be afraid. You have to know the Eibishter is with you. You have to know as long as you're doing what's right, you're doing what the Eibishter wants you are protected. And I saw this. I was 8.5 years between wolves. I never got hurt. And I walked around with the Yarmulke and Tzitzis. And I wear big payas today because I wanted to make sure the goyim knew I'm Jewish. If they miss my Yarmulke, they share my payas also. So one day I walked by, and every single week they bring in new customers. Every week a bus would pull up with new customers would come in, and they'd line up over there to get whatever they had to get, the room and the clothes, whatever. I walk by, and behind me I hear a guy screaming, "Macht Chizuk for me. Hey!" That guy is wearing strings coming out of his pants. He was laughing at my tzitzis. I didn't walk away. I turned around to the guy and asked him, "Hey, what's your problem?" And that was a nest. The guy had to be a head taller than me. I'm not a tall guy with chatila. What's going on? What's your problem? I'm sitting here in front of this. I remember having a fight with an Italian boy. Today you don't see Italians in Borough Park. But when I grew up in Borough Park, there was a lot of towns of Puerto Ricans. And one time we got cornered by a gang of Italians and Puerto Ricans. We had a fight on the steps of Bethel right here. And somebody had a hammer. The kids had a mice. I just remember the moment. I took them around and said, "What's your problem?" I said, "Hey, I wasn't making fun of you. I know where they are. They're tzitzis, right?" And the way he said the word tzitzis, I realized he's a Yid. He didn't say tzitzit, whatever. He said, "Stayid." So I give a look at him. I found a Jew here. I never would have chapsach he's a Jew. They brought in a guy. What's the Maisa? This guy came by them over there in a place called prison. They use word names. They have like incognito names. So this guy's name was Ghost. He was a ghost. Where was Maisa? He was a young kid. He went to Talmud Torah. He was a very wild. He became part of a gang. He became a leader of a gang, and they did something. I don't know exactly what they did. I guess Masaba didn't get up from Maidani in the morning. Exactly. I don't know. Anyways, he wound up in a high security prison, and not for 11 years. And now they're taking him down from high security down to medium security. And that's how I met him. So I find out now he's a Jew. What thing I'm going to do? I gave him a kaddish. So I started learning with him. First I was to put on film. I started putting on film with him. 80% of the time I would ask him to put on film, this Mr. Ghost. He would agree, 70%, most of the time. Sometimes I couldn't find him. I'd run up the stairs. He was on the 5th level. I'd hop him on the 5th level. I said, hey, Mr. Ghost, you want to put on film today? He was like, I'm very busy today, Rabbi. I can't put on film. It has a very important meeting, Mr. On a phone call. How many times we do it ourselves? Yes, vernommen, sehr vernommen, ich kenne es nicht. It's harder. Kids are nice. So you give him some slack. I could put him, this guy, but most of it, every time, if he ever put on film, I had to go find him first. Helder Eivishter, one day I'm sitting over there, and I'm learning Abstract Gemara. He walks in, and he tells me, hey, Rabbi, I want to put on film. It's a pillar gedolim. Because he wants to put on film. If I was. It's nothing to do with me. What happened? I looked at him and said, wow. I said, was mit dir kommst du zu mir? He says, Rabbi, I can't sleep at night. I'm very nervous. I fall asleep. This is Mr. Tough Guy. This Mr. Tough Guy, he once showed me, he made in his pants, he made a secret pocket hold a knife. Not one knife, 2 knives. Because if somebody starts with him, you'll have to stab him. The wildkeit that goes on over there in the Shire, he was the same guy, yeah? And he can't sleep at night. He said, what's bothering you? So he tells me, they called him into the office last week, a few days ago, and they told him, they gave him a date that he's leaving prison in 3 weeks, yeah? Give him a date. And now he knows that this date he's going out of prison. He's going to say in reverse. I said, make a kiddush. What do you mean? If you tell me I'm going out of prison, make a kiddush. What's the problem? He says, Rabbi, don't laugh. I don't know where I'm going to. I don't know what's going to happen outside there. I have bad friends over there. I don't want to go back to the Meshugas that was there before. I want to try and make a new life for myself. I don't know how. I'll get a job. And I'm not going into that whole area. And the Lepeel, he can't sleep at night because he's very nervous what's going to happen when he gets out of prison. So what does he do? He didn't go to a psychiatrist. He was already 11 years in prison. He knew this. He knew the how it works over there. Yeah, you can't sleep at night. You go to a psychiatrist. He gives you a few pills, or whatever, the Zantac and Mantac, whatever they give you, and they forget schlafen. He didn't do that. He came to put on tefillin. Obviously, when he was putting on tefillin for the last 8 months, his neshama had to feel a certain ruyukeit, a certain menuchas hanefesh, that he wanted to tap into that. Now that he felt nicht hebach ruyukeit, he wanted to have that ruyukeit what you get from doing a mitzvah. Gemamisch gesehen, wie es heißt, was ist jeder that neshama, and I want to verbringen. The Rebbe explained, a child when he grows up, I got a mashal. A child when he gets born doesn't know what food is. How does he know what food is? After a long while, the child figures out that if he's hungry, he wants food. He asks the mother for a bottle. How does he know what the food is? Nobody ever teaches a child what food is. None of us. The child feels a certain discomfort of pain, of hunger. The mother weighs, aber Schas, they made the kind weint, it can sein, the kind is hungry. Get it to essen, it gives the food to eat. Right? The child goes through just a cycle, 1 month, 2 months, 3, 4 months, 4 months, 5 months, till it figures out. Such a pain gets relaxed by eating food. This guy, Mr. Ghost, figured out that when you put on film, you do a mitzvah, and that's what he does. It's a neshama. And we learn Torah, that you don't get from anywhere else. So sometimes you can think, I don't feel good, I got to do this, I got to do that. What you really need to do is do a mitzvah. Do a mitzvah nefesh. And then you'll see it. There was the third story I want to tell you is a quicker story, and then I'm going to ask the band to come and sing some more songs. And there is a Maisa with 2 Eden from Russia, and it was Seder Pesach by night, and I walked into the chapel, and they're sitting by the table, And I prepared myself a ganze drosha to give them for the Seder. Ich kenne Hagoda, hin, her, Rosha, Chochem. Mit amol, I gave a cook of the two Yidden, there was 13 Yidden that time in this place. And I look at these two Jews, that one of them is both from Russia, and I bet you they don't have bris milah. Why? Because they were 50 plus years old. And if you make a cheshbon, let's say it was 2015, that means they were born before 1990. And I don't know why, after all this time, I never chapsich to ask the question, to think about it. In my gefallen, I bet you have bris milah, so I'm going to talk to them about bris milah right now. By the Seder table. Why? Because by the Seder table, in the gay, about bris milah. I told them about bris milah. It's impossible that whatever I told them was something that they can understand. It had nothing to do with seichel. I told them the medrash that Moshe Rabbeinu made the Korban Pesach and nobody wanted to eat it. And they wanted to eat it, and the Moshe have to get a bris milah. But to these two Yidden, it was impossible for them to really relate to it. We understand Moshe Rabbeinu. The Peil, why? Because gewusst, am Meretz HaYidden, redt nicht an Neshama. Meretz is a Menschen. You're not talking to a goof, you're talking to a Neshama. And Memela, the Neshama his, and it'll inspire them. After Pesach, they both came over to me, and they said to me that after Pesach, by the Seder, they both made a commitment. They want to make a bris milah. These two Yidden, one guy's name is Ephraim, the other guy's name is Baruch. I think he was standing here 1 year. I went to Asifus, he got out before me, and he spoke about, he asked me to speak about his friendship with me, and both Yidden made a bris, and both saw Yeshua. What's the word? I'm a total mitzvah, mit einem Mesiras Nefesh, that's what Chanuka is all about. Mit einem mitzvah, Mesiras Nefesh. If you want to know how does emunah and bitachon express itself, everybody can say they have emunah, everybody can have bitachon. How does it express itself? And the answer is the way you do a mitzvah. You do a mitzvah mit a koch, mit a brenn, mit a Mesiras Nefesh, like it says in Shara Bitachon, but you do a mitzvah because they want to do a mitzvah, the taisha b'teich with him. You want to be connected with him. If you want to know how you know the Eibush is with you, when you're with the Eibush is with you. How you with the Eibush you do 10 mitzvahs. So, Memela, you never come to a matzav where you say, because I'm going through a difficulty, Memela, I'm not going to do 10 mitzvahs the way I'm supposed to do it. Verkehrt. When you're in a matzav, when a shverigkeit, you go through the soyin, you make yourself a chlote, that I'm going to do the mitzvah. These two Yidden were the first two Yidden in prison that made a bris milah. And after them, 5 of the Yidden in the camp made a bris milah. I know a total of 7 Yidden made a bris milah. From what? From talking to the Neshama. So to conclude this part of the Fabrengen, is as we have in the Neshama Teire. When we talk to ourselves, we talk to our children, we should be focusing not so much, not at all, on the Seichel Shebedover, like the Yevonim want to talk about Seichel. We have to talk about the Neshama we have. We're connected with the Eibishter. We have a connection to the Eibishter that's inseparable. We don't want to do anything that's going to separate from the Eibishter. And then, mitamol, when you see you have a problem, you realize what the Eibishter wants from you. He wants you to see that even in this problem, you're going to stay connected with him, and then the Yeshua comes. The Eibishter will benchen. And it's like 11 o'clock if you want to stay weiter. Ben ziehen, weiter singen, weiter singen, ja? Mit ein bisschen tanzen jetzt. I want to thank everybody. We use this moment over here. I want to thank Ben Zion Friedman for coming to sing Yeshira Choir, the Ated, and the Kolme Wasser. The Kolme Wasser, the Dresden was here. I don't know if he's still here. Bottom line marketing, Pinny Lipschitz, Chaim Appel. All that Skonim that worked for the case, and the Rebbe Hecht of the NCFJE for being Shvuyim, the first woman that was here. And I have a Shvagat, these are for Shleime, Yitzchak Yaakov ben Rochel have for Shleime, and we should all have the geulah now. And of course, Shemire, for David Shal Shem is an Aliden, for Shemire. Okay, and my Yaakov Weiss wants everybody to buy some books. Okay, let's noch ein bisschen tanzen jetzt, no? Hat was, Und Yosef, Brakov soll mal sagen, Geulah. Yosef Brakov.
Kadeshayim, Kadeshayim, Bigdish Asa Shabbos Amisachedes, Besoyrus Echo. Oy Kadeshayim, Kadeshayim, Bigdish Asa Shabbos Amisachedes, Besoyrus Echo. Oy Kadeshayim, Kadeshayim, Bigdish Asa Shabbos Amisachedes, Besoyrus Echo. Oy Kadeshayim, Kadeshayim, Bigdish Asa Shabbos Amisachedes, Besoyrus Echo. No yam verzoy, hoy lifto ya, sharay retzoy necho, pesach lohem. Hay no yam verzoy, hoy lifto ya, sharay retzoy necho. Ay ko, no yam shabo, etzoy no yam shabo. Ay ko, no yam shabo, etzoy no yam shabo. Ay ko. No yam shabos, etzoy no yam shabos. Ay ko, no yam shabos, etzoy no yam shabos. Kadeshayim, Bigdish Asa Shabbos Amisachedes, Besoyrus Echo. Oy Kadeshayim, Kadeshayim, Bigdish Asa Shabbos Amisachedes, Besoyrus Echo. Ay ko, no yam shabos, etzoy no yam shabos. Ay ko, no yam shabos, etzoy no yam shabos. Ay ko, no yam shabos, etzoy no yam shabos. Ay ko, no yam shabos, etzoy no yam shabos.
Ich bin beziehen, but the night is still young, Chavres. We have Zeit, verbringen ein bisschen. Where everybody's running? Sit down, verbringen ein bisschen. I'm sorry, I'm standing, I should be sitting over. I said already 8.5 years, da weiter darf ich sitzen. Genug gesessen. I want to share with you a Maise. This is 101 how to live life. Sefer Matera. The Gemara in Tainis says like this. Rabbi Chanina ben Deisa, you know Rabbi Deisa? Rabbi Chanina ben Deisa givai Mesha, Herst. Rabbi Chanina ben Deisa was a Yid v'yamalum b'nisim. In sein Stub, in his house, was Nisim. We all need Nisim today. It's Chanukah, only Nisim. I thought I pelletike word from the Ben Ish Chai. Die Gemara erzählt, als Beginn dieser walked in, Freitag nach Mittag, sieht seine Tochter zintlicht. Interessant, ja? Das habe ich gesagt. Vatsive, she was upset. Fragte, was bist du sehr Zive? What's bothering you? So the daughter answered him that she had, by mistake, the jug of oil. The jug of oil had sich übergebitten for a jug of vinegar, and she poured vinegar into her nail, and she lit it. And Mela is they got to say why. So the famous, the Abavustam word, Rabbi deze set his daughter, Misha Oma L'Shemen Sheyadlik, L'Yem L'Chem Sheyadlik. So der was gesagt, dass Shemen soll brennen, wir sagen, Chem ist echt brennen. So the obvious question here is like this. When he came in, the tochter, the daughter, lit the nail with chemetz, with vinegar, and it was burning. Now, we tried it this year in the house, try to put a wick into chemetz and light it, nothing's happening. Not even for a second. Obviously, what happened, she was concerned, jetzt brennt es, aber was ist ein weiter? Wie kann chemetz brennen? So obviously, sie hat gesagt an us. Yeah? So what was the problem? You see, and that's happening. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. What's the problem? Noch a Scheile fragt der Ben Yodes, Ben Schai, fragt noch a Scheile. Was ist a long way? Misha Mashiach Yadik, ich say, Chim Yadik, Misha, they Misha, but Chim is burning. She sees Chim is burning. Was mit amol? And her problem, and this is a lesson, this is a learning for jeder Indian to leben. Reb Sholom Mordechai walked into his daughter, and the daughter lit vinegar, and it was burning. It was burning. And thus, what was the problem? At Tziva, she was upset because she gemeint, of course, a ness is happening, is menakim mischiyesov. It says, if a ness happens to you, is menakim mischiyesov. So she was upset. She said, "Amaisa, jetzt the day she macht a ness for the Shabbos Kiddush, the chemetz is burning. Of the pale is menakim mischiyesov." Zogt Reb deze zijn tochter has a gein. Eib du lebst a leben as mishe yem l'shemen. A du glaubst as tevas echet anas. A du verstehst as a viele tevas anas. Mishe am Hashem adik is yem l'chem is kachem echet brennen, and it's not going to take off your account anything. You won't lose any schusim. And that's how she lived. And this is a mamash story of bitachon. If you live a life, what's bitachon? Bitachon is understanding that even when you do something, it's not the teva that's going to help you. And I've seen this many times throughout the... It's not that bitachon when you don't have what to do, bitachon. When you have what to do, you don't rely on the teva, it's not menaken. It's Shem Havaya. It left Shem Havaya. Yeah, I believe in my was happened if you need a nest, it doesn't bother you. That happens. If you live with Elikim, if you live in Tava, if a nest happens, it's like a menaken. You're watching the Kud of the whole story. I'm not giving any pshatlach over here. Emunah means we have a emunah pshuta that the Eibush that does is teiv. You're going through a difficulty, you're going through a hard time in life, you're going through a sayin. If you know b'emunah pshuta, the one who's putting you through the sayin is the Eibush there, then you realize that yirida zu tzerich aliyah. The only reason the Eibush that puts a yid through a yirida is in order that is an aliyah that comes after it. So suddenly, what happens is, b'teich ha-yirida verstehst du, at the yirida allein is a as das wird rufheben. So what do? You strengthen yourself and you continue serving the Eibush with Simcha. I want to share with you a story. I looked over last year's video and I forgot to say the story. I have to say the story this year. The first Chanuka that I found myself in prison, it's a Chanuka story. The first Chanuka that I found myself in prison was in a place in Dubuque, Iowa. And the reason they put me in prison, one of the reasons they put me in prison in that time was before the whole trial, because they denied me bail. They came with a gewaltige chap. Bail in America is only given to somebody who is a single citizen. If you're an American citizen, you get bail. If you're a dual citizen, you get bail. Haben sie Chapsach that, without using adjectives, not important. The Chapsach over there, that because I'm Jewish, this is not a joke. They had other arguments. This argument, that argument. One of the arguments they had is that because I am a dual citizen, therefore, I'm not entitled to bail. How am I a dual citizen? My father remembers I was born here in Borough Park, in Maimonides, on 12th Avenue and 49th Street. I think, yeah? For Allen Parker, somewhere there, Eppisville. In 1959, I was born there. So I didn't come over the border. My father came over the border. So I thought I'm an American citizen. Sitting in Iowa, I found out in Poshet. Because I'm Jewish, they explained this very eloquently. And they gave a bunch of papers to the court. And they said because he's Jewish, he can go to Israel. In Israel, he can get citizenship under the law of return. B'meila, right now, as it stands today, he is not an American citizen single, he's a dual citizen because he can get. If Keich has a pale, it's nicht. He focuses on Keich and Basil on pale. And these guys were busy with in Keich has a pale. Even though I never went to Israel to get a passport, they timed it because I could go to Israel. I could get a passport, so the way Mimela, as he stands here today, he's a dual citizen, and don't give him bail, and I wound myself up in a place called prison for 70-some days. And until Baruch Hashem they reversed that thing, and I came home. And interessant, why am I telling you the story? Because how did that nest happen? Alef Bais Gimmel. Alef Shvat, I had a hearing. I got to tell you about Chanuka. So verbringen jetzt, ja, was Zeit. Anybody tired? Okay, good. Yeah, good. Alef Shvat is a Chiddush, as usually, yeah? And they made the hearing for the bail that day. And you're going to stand in front of a human judge on such a day. I'm not going to go into a human judge before daven to the Eibishter. So I have to daven before. In that particular prison, I'll tell you some of the story of Chanuka, the warden there took this is the Shavach. This is to the praise of this country. He gave me everything I needed for my religious things in this particular prison. Not only that, I asked him, I need neglavas. I told him, I need water to wash my hands in the morning. So he said, take water out of the sink. I said, oh, the sink is in the bathroom. And in the bathroom, you can't use water. It's neglavas. What didn't you understand? You know the yeshiva? Anyways, he scratched his head. He couldn't understand what I'm talking about. But the pail, every morning they came into the cell. They took me to daven. I told them I need kosher food, I need tazen tefillin, I need daven. And on the way, they took me into the locker room of the officers. The guy dressed in orange, beautiful orange. You can see him in the middle of the night. I walked into the officer's lounge over there. There was a sink over there. And I made bracha. I had a bottle of water with me because now after I finish with this, I'm going back. I have to have water with me. So all the guards over there saw me always with a siddur or a sefer with a bottle of water. They all knew that this Jew boy doesn't take water out of the bathroom. So when it came to Shvat, and they're taking me now from Dubuque, Iowa to Cedar Rapids, it's like an hour and a half drive. They chain me up, hands and feet, in orange clothes, together with a bunch of nice people, throw us in the van, and we get dragged all the way to the. So I told him, listen, I gotta pray before in the morning. So he said, good, you pray. So I said, I can't pray because sunrise is 7:15. Or Shabbat. So okay, you pray over there. They made a telephone call to the court over there, and they said, I'm going to pray over there. I look at the guard. The guard is holding my tazen tefillin and a bottle of water, because I felt like a mice. The bottle of water. Talking about Chanuka and Tahara, yeah. So sitting over there with a bottle of water. I took a smile, but I said, Hashem, okay. So we get over there, they get out of the van, and the Shem of Pesach says what's going on over there. So the officer carrying my thousand tefillin, the bottle of water, tells him there's a Jewish man here, he has to have a room to pray. They cleared it. Right? I never heard something like that. What kind of crazy thing is this? No. He tells them, I hear this. They clear this from the highest this, he can pray. Right? So he brings me into a room. In that room, there's 2 cages. Stainless steel cages. And he wants to lock me in one of the cages to daven. Now, in the cage is a bathroom. Because they lock you in, you have to have a bathroom. So I say to the guy, listen, I can't pray here. There's a bathroom here. He gets angry at me. He says, schreien, the shilten, tell him what to do. You're a prisoner. What do you tell him what to do? I put you here. You're going to pray here? I'll give you a room. I can't. There's a toilet here. So mitamol I hear this officer was carrying my 1,000 tefillin with the water. She became my lawyer. She says, no, you don't understand what's going on over here. He said, this Jew, he can't pray in a room that has a bathroom. She picks up the bottle of water. He can't even take water from a bathroom. This guy gave her an answer because instead of her being on my side, her side, she's on my side. The kids are on my side, try to fight. She tied it with him. So you see, from the Tara of Gissing Negel properly, they gave me a room, normal hate in a different room. I davened. I went into court, Alef Shvat, Alef the emunah. Bais Shvat, it continued. There was a tremendous big problem. How we let this terrible, dangerous guy out on bail. And the bail, the Davish helped on Bais Shvat. Davish geholfen. I got the idea. The court said, you're getting bail. And the government objected. So it was delayed another day. The bail, I came home, Gimmel Shvat. I came home, I made a big kiddush, everybody came together. And I turned to my wife and I said, I'll get back cook. Alef, Bais, Gimmel. Alef, we started out in the court. I said, okay, Memol, yeah? Bais, got the idea, I'm going home. Gimmel, the pale came home. And that gave us a push to be mischazik ourselves, a bigger bitachon, even in the cheshech of the thing. I realized that with that bitachon, as David, I was getting from the ganze Godos. So how did I get to this whole mice? I was telling you about something else, Be'eker. Huh? Oh, Chanuka. So in that time, there's a very important story. I have it on my paper to tell you the story. I got to tell you the story. Why am I telling you the story? Because you hear the stories and then you hear the because. This place, they gave me everything. Other places, they fought me against Samkin Tzitzis and they beat me up, all good Sachen. But this place, Kosher, they gave me, Yamkis, they gave me, it came Chanuka or das nit. Chanuka, why? What's the problem with Chanuka? Don't you understand? There's a fire. And a fire, you can burn the whole place down. The fire marshal doesn't let. So again, Alef, these guys got into gear. I was talking to you about before, the Mamash got into the first time that I met this Chevra, and they started they started a conversation with the warden in this place. And the pale, first they didn't want to let, and they argued with him, and this just shows you, you should know. Anyways, a lot of tables they help you where they get put and where they get. There's an English shire amount of good that these guys do, and the pale they turned around. The warden lets me know 3-4 days before Chanuka he found a room, and that room is a fireproof room. Over there I can sing Chanuka licht. I couldn't understand the fireproof room. The whole bloody place is fireproof. It's all steel and. A component take me out, comes at night, and the 2 guards come. One guy was dressed very sharp, like a real, and dafka him, and the guy that was dressed like a tough guy, he's carrying my meneda, the other guy's carrying my Shem Messiahs, and they lead me to this big room, open the door. I walk into this room, it's cheshech, no windows there, there's chairs all around. In the corner, there was a mechitza, a little wall. He takes the meneda, he puts it down on this little partition. You should visualize a L-shaped partition in the corner of a big room. He puts down the meneda on the partition, there's no tables there. He puts it down there, he tells me, hey, go do your thing. And they stand on the side, these 2 officers stand on the side. They want to hear the bracha, I say, Amen. Stel zich voor, maybe I wanted to disappear from here. Anyway, so So I go over, ich bin gewählt Moli Simcha. Because this is the first time in my life as an American boy that I had to fight for a mitzvah. The first time, because like it was very easy for me to get out in prison. They don't want that. And when I get out, I got licht. Nou, was heet bitachon? We said before, bitachon meant, bitachon sagt sich äußert, but in English it would mean bitachon expresses itself in the way you do a mitzvah. Because a mitzvah means tzavsa v'chibur. A mitzvah doesn't only mean a tzivui, where you get commanded to do a mitzvah. A mitzvah means you're connecting with the Eibishter, and that's what bitachon is about. Bitachon means trusting only the Eibishter is the only one that can help you, nobody else. So how do you express it? By doing a mitzvah, behidder, verkehrt, anke chachmas. And don't say to yourself, oh, dort kann ich nicht machen, also verkehrt. Because the Eibishter is all over, the Eibishter put you in this matzav, the Eibishter help you in this matzav also. So I was really excited. I fought for the mitzvah, I got the mitzvah. And I could do the mitzvah. Not only I lit, the Alef got for me Shem Mazayis also. So I think maybe I was the first guy in the county jail to light the Shem Mazayis. I go to light the Shamash. I put the little Kedishkel on the first little. I go to light the Shamash. What's on the other side of this mechitza? Yeah. So curiosity. This meneder is on a wall. It's not on a table. I give a look. What's the toilet there? You can imagine there's a room over. If you want to imagine that Spola, they have a room there. Benches enough to fill in, let's say 50 people. Let's say they put in 50 people in this room, and then somebody has to go to the bathroom. Go to the behind the thing. You make a. That's a There was a guy there. An Irishman. He was a murderer. He killed people for money. He told me that he got used to everything in prison besides having to go. There's a mashmal person. Anyway, so I give a look over there. There's a bathroom there. So I turn around to this guard in this fancy uniform. I tell him, hey, mister, I can't, Mr. Officer, I can't light over here. So why can't you light over here? I said, there's a bathroom here. In fact, bathroom, what's the problem? There's a problem. I can speak English. I told him, listen, I'm going to make a bracha. I'm going to say the Abish's name, the Shem HaKadosh, the God's holy name. I ask him, you think it's right to say God's holy name next to the bathroom? You think so? And that's still. Yeah? And then I tell him, what am I going to do? I'm going to light the candle. The candle is a Kiddush Hashem, and this candle is going to shine over. This candle is supposed to be Chanuka, and it's shining over a bathroom. You want my light, my holy light, to shine to proclaim the Chanuka over a bathroom? He got it. This tough guy, he got it. I feel like goy. Has verstanden? This is not right, but it tells me what should I do. It's the only place they approved you. There was this time of year. There was a chogah by them. They can't. He couldn't get any permission. Nobody was there. I tell him, listen. You can take me to a different room. But there's a place I ate every single day. Take me over there. It's not fireproof. I'm not going to burn myself. But said, after 2 minutes arguing, I'll never understand why or how. But at least it's a nest. Mit them all, they to make some change his mind. I said, okay, I'll take you. Him and his friend, they both pick up the menorah. And they're taking me now to the room, which I suggested to them. A prisoner suggested a room, and they're listening. They follow immediately, they listen to me. I'm walking behind them, and I'm really, really excited. They go for a mitzvah. So, trachten ze zich, Baruch Hashem, they be mit mir. Lets me do a mitzvah that I'm supposed to. And if I get one more thing out of these guys, I'll be able to do the mitzvah exactly what I did at home. Listen up, listen, officer, I got another problem. We're walking. He stopped. What's your problem now? I said, listen, they gave me permission to sit by the candles for 30 minutes, but you should know our custom is that we sit by the candles for 50 minutes. By the Babish, I told him it's not a law, this is only a custom, but by custom in our community, the light burns for 50 minutes. Would you have a problem with me sitting there for 50 minutes? He makes a short stop. Looks at me ganz verdreht, because the goyim bechal can't understand all these nekudas, the azah halacha, because the 30, you can imagine, the bathroom is no good now, 30 minutes is no good, and 15 minutes, it was, he asked me questions, also very interesting. He tells me, hey, Rubashkin, how did you do this in your house? It's like, stop with all your, what do you do in your house? So for a moment, I thought in the house, I did 15 minutes, because it sounded like he'd give it to me. But the payal, what we did in our house is we sat around the menorah as long as the candles burned. That was because we lived in this little town called Postville, and my kids over here, they grew up in this little town. I wanted them to see Chanuka tabisel merachayes, and they hit and run. So we made up in the house, but as long as the lichtlach burned, we played dreidel over there, we ate latkes. So I tell the guy, in our house, actually, we sat there as long as the candles were burning, we sat there. How long? About 2.5 hours. 30, 50, and now 2.5 hours. This guy got very quiet for a very long time, and I'm really thinking of the faster, right away, he hits on the Yevonische Cheshbenis. And bitte mal, he tells me something I'll never forget. Because they were all quiet for a very long time. He tells me, okay, you'll do it here the same way you did it at home. Tell the Gemara, yeah? That's what it means I'm doing. I'm talking about Leben Hech von Teva. What okay where you are? Mitzvah, don't stop your husbandness as a meise, as a heter, as a meise. Verkehrt. Schlagzach, ton a mitzvah, we turn the heim, even the goyim. This is the beginning. All 8 days of Chanukah, this guy let me sit there. I lit the candles. As long as the candles were burning, it never bothered me. When I finished, I started banging on the door, and I got out. And I got out, whatever. And I got a lot of cases from me. I sat, I watched the menorah. I cooked on these, there's a okay, the shame. Und das heißt Tare. Das heißt Tare. Man sieht, man sitzt sich mit Tare. And if you want to think, I want to finish, there's something, it's late in the game, but I want to share with you this. You mentioned before, let me finish with this thought over here. We can keep on going, but I guess the people are tired. But I want to say one more word. 8.5 years, Hashem given a matzav, never looked at, today everybody's busy looking at screens. You ever talk to somebody? You talk to somebody, hat gucken. You're sitting next to him, the guy on the screen is more important. There's screens over there, there were screens, there's a big room in the center. That 5 or 8, the place I was 7 years didn't have a screen in every room, but they had screens outside. And there was a yid there, he was not a yid, was a good gemuchet. I don't know if he's or not. The guy claimed to be Jewish, and he bothered me very, very strongly at my gemuchet. I should sit with him and watch a show. I should watch. So I told him, I don't watch TV. Well, why not? You see things I don't want to see. I don't want to see murders. I don't want to see pachatznis. I don't want to look at these things. Verstand? There's actually over there, there's a murderer there, a young guy, maybe in his 40s. He lived Africa in Lakewood. When he saw me, yes, I know you guys are. He knew Jews. And he had 2 life sentences. They gave him 2 sentences to sit in prison 2 times. 1 life and then the second life. America is very generous. And they gave him, was 1 there. Ja, 2 tegen. What happened? How did he get the 2? Because he killed somebody in a very, very sadistic manner. And he actually shared it with us. And the word is, this guy was a Zoller member. The pelle is, this guy worked for the EMT. Worked for the EMT. That means this guy in his spare time was busy saving lives. How does a guy like that come to kill somebody? One time he told us. I got angry at the guy. He did something that bothered him. So he said, I acted out something that I saw on TV. That means he saw something, and mit all that took over the way he thinks became the way he saw over there. Translate that to what we do. Emunah means seeing the word with the klarkeit and with the clarity of Sa'id Hot from Teira. Baby Shah, you sit down and you watch in Yonim how a goy deals with the problem, how a goy understands the world, how a goy explains to you how the world works. What are you actually doing? You're absorbing hepech emunah. So on one side, you're trying to build up your emunah, you're bitachon, on the second side, you're just killing it. So the kid said, this guy stopped bothering for a while. Then one day he comes to me and he tells me, I have tonight is going to be a show. It's a family show. And I watched it before. There's no murder on there. I get my hechsher. There's no murder there. And let's sit and watch. Now, I didn't want to give a bailah that I'm not social. He's a social. I'm social, so I had to come up with something else. I said, I don't watch if I ask why you're not. And this is the I want to share with you. It's in the Gei Pashal Aloha. The Eibishter gives every one of us, every healthy person that we are, gives us 5 chushim with which we are able to relate to the world around us. Pashal, yeah? Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your smell, your taste, and your mishush. You know, you touch something that's hard or soft, hot or cold. You smell something, you know if it's sweet, if it's bitter, if it's good smelling, if maybe something rancid, if it's healthy or not healthy. You hear a davar chachma, but the only chush the Eibishter gave us, with which you're able to establish what is true and what is false, is seeing. Whenever you want to know what's true, you say lama kuktan. Yeah, if you see Reuven gave Shimon some money, then Reuven gave Shimon money. If you heard that Reuven gave Shimon some money, he's lav dafke. It's like a mix for a nice echet, yeah. B'meila, where am I going with this? I'll tell you where we're going with this. When you're watching, one of the things they do I'm not talking about things you're not supposed to see, like murder, I'm not even going there, because that's obviously metalish cooking. Even you see things in cooking, but one of the things they entertain people with is by showing them things that the person watching knows is not true. The marshal. They show a person they show you how a person is flying. A fleet from Dov, if you don't frequent fly, yeah. People can't fly. And you know people can fly. What are you watching? You're watching something with your eyes, which is meant to establish what is true. And what do you say to yourself? Ich seh, aber nicht anders. Right? They show you animals talking. Animals can't talk. Yeah, so you watch a thing of animals. Kosher shows. I overheard it now 4 weeks ago. I overheard a mother who is a Chassidish woman who is careful what our children watch, but obviously there's kosher shows where there's animals talking, and she's explaining a 2-year-old child, Chayes reden nicht, because the child, the gesehen auf das, Chayes reden. So the cat hat gerät, the Hund hat gerät. The Mama darf Masber sein, you think I'm exaggerating. Du sagst eine Sache, und zu dir sagst du, so what's the damage? Here's the damage, and very quickly. You have healthy eyes, you walk into shul, and you see your Rebbe, you see a Helikayid. You see a Navi, you see a Tzaddik, you see somebody who's Ishaliki. You walk into the shul, you see a Chassid, who's the Arbeiter Mensch. You can relate to it. You see it, and you see truth, and it affects you. It impresses you. It's really important. It has to be because of the eigen is that's and it affects you. Oh, that's emes. That's emes, yeah? But when you train yourself that you can see something, and right away in the back of your mind you say, lav dafke, so even when you see something is true, mitamah is also lav dafke. Because you live in a world where you can't believe what your eyes are seeing either anymore. Because you already trained yourself. Every time you're watching a show that's showing you things that are not true, and you say to yourself, lav dafke, what you're actually doing is you're messing up the only care that Eibishter gave you to establish the emes. So mitamol, you're living in the ilm, and you don't even know what's true anymore. And watch kids today, they don't even know what's up and what's not anymore. How should they know? Gib a cook. It's good to cook and nicht leben. I was a matzav that I had to see. I had to see a person. I don't know if he's a friend, he's a foe. I cooked on Metzias. I want to live with the from the emunah. Emunah, watching a screen is mafsid. You know, in bitachon, he finishes off the 7th Perek, and he says mafsid bitachon. The things you do with pale mamish, that mafsid bitachon. So me guckt auf die Sachen. Ist nicht, dass man sagt, der Hepchatz nicht ist. Pasha begashim ist. Man lernt sich eine, seine Sachen pasha nicht anders. And then how can you see something which is really true? So this is I want to share with you this Nakuda. And Mamela, what's the answer to the whole problem? What's the answer? A portion is a portion to at least limit yourself, to realize that you have eyes. Your eyes are meant to establish what is true. Your ears are meant to hear things that are true. And if you pump it up with fake news, you pump it up with things that are not true, so then when it comes to see the truth, you have a problem seeing the truth also. And that's what people do. And this is what Chanuka is really all about. And they can verbringen mit der Meise von der stamps. But they're going to give them tzedakah. Over there, this Meshuggah in the place, in every place that people are together, they have to have currency. Yeah? Because one guy can do something and the other guy has to give him something for it. So in America, you have green dollar bills, and you want something, you pay him with green dollar bills. So what do you do in prison? You can't have any money. So you can't have green dollar bills, so what do? So they came up with a currency called stamps. The forever stamps, these 39, 49 cent stamps. And you buy them, the guy buy them in the commissary, till they peel it off the envelope, and then if you want to get something from somebody, you wash his clothes, iron his clothes, something from the kitchen, you pay in stamps, yeah? Now, the stamp, when it's first bought, has a value. You put on an envelope, and you mail it. It has a value of 50 cents. So you can tell somebody, give me something, or give back a stamp. It's a geld. Now, what happens is, after the stamp gets worn out, it's useless. You can't even put it on an envelope, because if you put an envelope, the post office will send it back to you. So it's ausgewebt. It won't even stick. Actually, they take two stamps and put it back to back. What happened? This place called prison developed a system of currency with stamps that are absolutely worthless. You can't do nothing with it. Mention sich eingerät, it's valuable. I remember sitting in this little cell. I'm sitting there learning, and walks in this guy, the guy I was sleeping with. A big guy, a skinhead. He walks in, he opens his locker, and he starts pulling out batteries, and he pulls out a radio and coffee. I asked, what are you doing? I understood when they take somebody, throw him in the shoe, the guy wants to sit in the shoe alone, he wants to have a radio, he wants to be able to hear, he needs batteries, he needs a little coffee to drink. If you come there, that's what you can have. So I said, what are you doing? So he tells me, I'm going to the shoe. I said, what do you mean you're going to the shoe? You don't go to the shoe, you gotta get thrown in there, it's a punishment. Yeah, the guy owes me 2 books of stamps, I'm gonna knock his head off. Exactly, I'm gonna knock his head off. And I'll knock his head off, then throw me in the shoe. Geht es schon zu mit ein Coffee, mit ein batteries, and a radio. I get in the shoe. 2 books of stamps is worthless, lachatchila, and at best it's worth $12. It's useless. Yeah? And this guy was ready to get thrown in the shoe for 2 books of stamps. The mind of Gimmel, I'll tell you what my is. Everybody in the world over there is running after stamps. The Gevir in this place called prison is a guy who has 100 books, 500 books. They bet. It comes to the football games. They have big bets going on with the stamps, yeah? And they kill for it. If a guy gets released and he walks out with his 500 books of stamps, a millionaire in the place called prison is a millionaire, gets thrown out, he needs a coffee, he goes to the Starbucks, and he asks him, give me a cup of coffee, and he gives him 5 books. They'll throw him out with the books, with the coffee, yeah? It's worth nothing. So I'm watching this thing, and I never got tired of watching this and thinking to myself, this is mamash money. People decided that the dollar bill means something. It's actually worthless. People decided, and as in prison you can get things for it, I don't deny that. In prison you can't get things without it. And in the free world, you can't get things without money either. And also masach geld. Aber the pale mamish, davon wissen, that's worthless. When does a dollar become worthwhile? When you put it in the tzedakah box and we just have a mitzvah with them, then was hast du a stickel mitzvah von der ganzen meistens wird es wert. I did a lot of these examples from the place called prison. And the Eibishter made a big yeshuah for me. And Baruch Hashem, thank everybody for coming and celebrating tonight and for bringing tonight and the Simcha grace. And the Eibishter help all these of my Yudma area, Simcha in Teilonu, sein the Simcha from Chanuka. The Ere Chanuka soll gehen nach dem ganzen Jahr und sein eine Eifung von Betev hat niederwendig. A guten Chai.